Test pops through. McNeil involved as well, caused some chaos. That's a beautiful finish around the corner.
Remember last week, 7 disposals, 3 goals. It was exactly the same output last week. He doesn't need many opportunities to make you pay on the scoreboard. He's really made it his own now, hasn't he? That small forward role for a long time. Sort of a wrestle. He wanted to be a midfielder. He was a star junior midfielder, but now he's become a very, very competent and very good small forward in this competition.
And that was their first clearance win for the quarter, Joey, which resulted in a goal.
Yeah, 111. 111 in the clearances.
Which is a bit of a surprise with the star-studded midfield the Bulldogs do have, being dominated in this part.
They win 2 now. Liberatore, Richards on his left. He can drive this one deep. It'll get over the head of Olier. He's able to track onto it. High ball. And Farrell's going to give away the free kick. So Richards starting to get busy now. Yeah, so watch the pocket here. This was a great kick to Norton before. You just see them leaving that pocket open, that pocket of space. Coming up for disposal, number 7. He'll kick it right to the top of the square. Big fly from Arms. He couldn't quite bring it down, and then Davidson squeezes one through. He's chock full of confidence at the moment, Geordie.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he had a great game last week against the Giants. He's never been shy of confidence, mind you, James Harmes. 4 goals and 22 touches last week, and thought he'd try his luck at a bit of a hanger. And the Dogs keep it down this end of the field. Evans just attacks straight through the corridor. As Port Adelaide like to do. Richards overran it, Libba was clean. It's good hands. That was great to McNeil. And Davidson was just waiting for it. They went about 6 metres, the kick.
Yep, should have been called play on that one.
But that handball from Libba is so quick. If you blink, you miss it, but it just sets them on their way. Davidson will pop it up for the flies. He's gone again, Harmes. He's flying from 3 deep now. Message might come out from the runner soon, get to the front.
He's the offside winger who's just coming in to complete the contest.
They do squeeze down hard, though, the Western Bulldogs wingers, don't they?
Yep.
They are given the licence to challenge. Can the mids get to work here? Bontempelli, just 1 disposal. That was the handball that effectively went straight to Rioli for the first goal. No, Port win another one. Clean again. Farrell. Georgiades is there with Lobb coming across to support. O'Donnell having an excellent first turn. Williams. Burn-Jones slipped to the front, so Williams decided to take his grass. Again, they'll probe the top of the square. Evans again. Port Francis, low and hard. Break through the tackle from Davidson. Richards under pressure from Johannesson, who gets it back. And again, they'll get a chance for forwards. Buku Karmas. McNeil. Norton. Under pressure, the handball. Lorenz, quick kick, and Port Adelaide will be pleased they can find an uncontested mark. But they don't want to slide up, they want to get it rolling. Butters, Port Francis has nothing up ahead, so he has to buy himself some time. Waits for Rioli to get into position. In a one-on-one, the kick to advantage. Rioli almost. It was a great attempt. And the Dogs will work it out with the numbers through Bailey Williams. Karmas. They presented well, they presented it out. The Dogs, just to calm things down, allow all their numbers to get forward to the ball and create some options. Took under 4 minutes now in this first quarter. This is the right way to build it up though, Joey. Just move it forward 20, 30 metres. Those little lead-up kicks. They can set their defence behind this kick as well. And again, Norton got hands to it. Wines. Trying to shovel that one out to Rosie, who was holding out the ball. So I think the Dogs, if they get another chance to go inside forward 50, the last 4 kicks have been long. I reckon now the Port Adelaide defence will cover the long one, so the short one might pop up. Dogs, though, will certainly take this scoreline in quarter time if they can. Getting into at least a couple of goal breeze. We'll get another ball up. Zach Butters continuing on 9 disposals, 4 clearances, leading from the front. And Francis had 6 and 3 clearances. Kennedy, they want to get it to the outside. Richards, clever little tap back to Liberatore. Rosie there, well done from Treloar, just did enough to get the hand in. and then tracks it, and looking for Bontempelli. He's just a little bit frustrated at the moment, the superstar Bont. Still just the one handball in this opening term.
Yeah, and there's no run with. It's not as if he's being tagged out of the game. There's no run with either side, just going head-to-head at the moment.
In fact, right now he's got young Will Lorenz on him. A couple of good Marsland boys playing on each other at this stoppage. There is Lorenz. Liberatore trying to get the hands free. Port Adelaide's pressure, both teams' pressure, in fact, has been elite in this first quarter.
It's been high standard, hasn't it? Yeah, even with how tricky the conditions have been, with the commitment of the contest for both teams. I love this matchup too, Sweet versus English. Know each other quite well, know each other's games very, very well.
Sweet takes the front spot. Lorenz lost his footing. Liberatore feeds the handball to Fraser, and he'll hug the boundary line, but he'll stay in play. And now Farrell will want his left foot. He'll have to come across the face of goal. It's a risky kick. It hangs in the air. Johannesson read it well. He was able to get there. Bring it to ground. Harms will use Johannesson. Great pressure again from Port Adelaide. Burne-Jones it was. Johannesson just as good. Fierce contest this one. Sweeping handball. Really commit there was Me, but he was able to continue to track it. Port Adelaide have that spare. Sorry, the Bulldogs, I should say, have the spare behind the play. And they'll get the free kick in Bailey-Dale.
Completely rushing themselves, Port Adelaide. Got no composure, and the pressure from the Bulldogs has been outstanding. Well, I think that the way to take away the pressure is to take marks. They've only taken the 9 marks compared to the Bulldogs' 26 at the moment.
There's Bailey-Dale's 10th disposal to young Cleary. All 36 players on that half of the ground at the moment, so it's going to be kicked into congestion.
So it's a free kick. So this is what we talk about method. So sometimes you can get enticed because the breeze is at your back. You want to get to the goal square as quick as you possibly can. You still need to use the angles and make this Bulldogs defend.
That's what Farrell's trying to do. He's kicked it to a one-on-one. Joe Richards and Joel Fraser. Now the support come. Rosie. Wines will just find Mead, and now they can build something inside the last minutes.
Yeah, I think the other thing you want to avoid is the long switches. We've seen a couple of times where they've tried to switch the ball, but the kick's been a 50-metre switch, allowing the Bulldogs to come back in and pressure.
Sweet and Georgiades will get to the contest. Joe Richards got the crumb. Burne-Jones went without it. We'll get another boundary throw-in, so Port Adelaide will most likely get the last chance in this first quarter as Luke Beveridge comes rushing down to the bench. He wants to make sure that they don't concede one inside the final 45 seconds.
He's got Buttles or Rioli written all over it.
There's plenty going on off the ball. You can see on the screen there at the ruckman's feet. English wanted to kill that one back out of bounds.
39 seconds. If you're the Dogs, you're certainly loading up defensive side. Just watching that Port Adelaide play, getting on the fly towards goal.
The Dogs send a couple of forwards inside their defensive 50, so they're just going to try and clog this one up. Butters might have been held without it. No free kick and another ball up. Bontempelli, he's handball under pressure. Kennedy, and now they get it out. Although they're going to have to kick to an outnumber because Port Adelaide have got the spare behind the ball. So Bontempelli takes a bounce, tries to get it over the hands of Jones. It might get to West. He's got a couple to beat. He wasn't quite good enough. And that should see the quarter out. It'll be Evans with the final kick of the term. And it's a quarter that, despite Port Adelaide having a strong breeze, the Western Bulldogs make a pretty good fist of it. 2 goals apiece at Mars Stadium. That's Port Adelaide leading the Bulldogs by 3 points.
G'day folks, welcome in. It's football day again. Of course, we've got the Western Bulldogs taking on Port Adelaide 2-1-13. The Dogs trail Port Adelaide 2-4-16. Port Adelaide couldn't well, couldn't capitalise on that breeze out there today. I'm sure the Dogs will in the second quarter. It's a tight tussle at the moment. Of course, Port Adelaide not kicking over straight. Well, it might come back to bite them, but we've got a great game out there today. It's a beautiful day. It's about 18 degrees. Playing at Mars Stadium, of course, they're in Ballarat. A couple of great teams there fighting it out. We'll let you know where they're sitting on the AFL ladder right in a moment. I'm just going to have a quick look at, just before I get to it, I want to bring the ins and outs to everybody there before we get back to the commentators, get back to the second quarter. Of course, big in coming in for the Bulldogs, Adam Treloar and Lachlan McNeil. Going out, Cooper Hines, Josh Dolan, the sub, Jess Buslinger. All right, the milestone game for the Doggies. There we go. Well done. Congratulations, Jason Johannesson. 200 games. That's a fantastic effort. And, of course, for Port Adelaide, Will Lorenz, Logan Evans coming in. Christian Morris, Josh Sin going out. Jeremy Finlayson is the sub. And, of course, the milestone game person for Port Adelaide is Sam Powell-Pepper. Tell you what, he's a bit of a star, isn't he, for Port Adelaide? 150 games. Well done to you. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers before we get back. We'll just run through some of these stats. Willie Rioli there. There you go. He's kicked 2 already for Port Adelaide. He's had 2 kicks, 2 goals. Western Bulldogs, Riley West. Kamas is the other single goal scorers. Let's just have a quick look at the disposal getters on the ground, as we are only a couple of minutes out from the bounce of the ball for the second quarter. 2 people in double figures so far at quarter time on the disposal count. Matthew Kennedy, Bailey Dale, both from the Bullies, both on 10 disposals each. Zach Butters, best of the rest for Port Adelaide on 9. Will Lorenz on 8. Also for Port Adelaide, Tom Liberatore continues his fantastic season. He's cranking up the possessions. You better believe it, he's in for a ring-a-ding-ding game. He's up to 8. He's doing well. I look forward to seeing what he produces from the Dame. Adam Treloar back in the side after a decent layoff. He's had 6, so not too bad a first quarter from Adam Treloar. And, of course, Jason Horne-Francis, he's up to 6 also. Is he going to lose his cool today, or is he going to play fantastic football? We will just wait and see. Aaron Norton there, up to 5 there. Looking for a big game out of him from the Doggies. They're looking to get a few goals out of him. Let's just keep on rolling down. Riley West there with the 1 goal. He's just had the 3 touches, 1 kick, 1 goal, 2 handballs for him. Right, let's keep going down there. The Bont. The Bont started off a little bit slow. We expect a big game here from the superstar Marcus Bontempelli. Just the 2 touches. He's just had 1 kick, 1 handball. He's laid a couple of tackles, which is good news for him. Of course, Tim English, the big man for the Doggies, just the 1 touch, 1 kick. He's had a marker tackle, 7 hit-outs for him. Let's just roll that back up. Let's go and say hello to a few people coming in to the live chat. Of course, Ryan, Avery Rogue One. How you going, brother? What's happening? Tina Bem Bem, the manager's in the house. Shody. Sheila May, cheer. Make a love shout out. Great to see you here again. We appreciate that. Liam Roblocks. I wish I could watch the game, but my sister's on the TV. Oh my gosh. Tell her she's got a phone call. Take control of that TV, remote control, stick it on the footy and watch it. That's a great game here. All right, folks, we're going to head back down to the ground. We're just a minute away from the second quarter, whereas Port Adelaide by 3 points.
They thought a dump kick out, we'll have some representation, be able to transition the ball, but the Doggies were straight onto it. They'd set the wall up, the uncontested marks, plus 15 for the Doggies. So when we look at that part of their game, they had a better method going into their forward 50, and you can just see here that dump kick I was talking about comes out. Bulldogs could have just sent that straight back in, but they just think their way through it, use the possession, use the numbers, and then you've got to defend if you're Port Adelaide. You've got to cover all the options here, and then they find their way through. Ed Richards gets to Norton. We saw this play out in the first quarter. Smart from the Doggies, and as I mentioned off the top, if it's a plus 4 or 5 goal breeze and they're within 3 points, definitely a great quarter from the Dogs.
Jordan Lewis, what did you make of Port Adelaide? Because they probably didn't capitalise on the scoreboard, but a lot of their game is in good shape.
Yeah, I think some positive signs. Certainly after the last couple of weeks they've had in and around the contest and the clearance, they were smacked by Sydney and beaten convincingly by North Melbourne. So to have a positive result in that area, +9 against the Dogs in terms of their contested possession so far, I think that's a big tick and something that Kenny Hinkley would be pleased with.
Yeah, of course, the clearances +7 as well, led by that man, Zach Butters, who had 4 clearances of his own in that first term. But, Johnny, the other story of the first quarter, Marcus Bontempelli. So we know he was subbed out in that game against the Giants. Just the 2 disposals in the first quarter.
Well, he had the injury at the start of the year, of course, and he's a little bit sore through the hammy as well. So therefore, you know, he's just not at that peak physical performance because he's had the soft tissue issue. So you expect Marcus to be able to work through the game quite comfortably as it goes on. But he's under pressure. The whole midfield's under pressure. Drew's a good player. Jason Horne-Francis, Butters is on fire. So they need to find a way here to get it right at clearance. The Western Bulldogs, and Bond has to lead the way in this second quarter.
It's just a classical. The mids are all going head-to-head today. There's no tags. And there are plenty of superstars around this footy to start the second term. English got up over the top, straight down to Liberatore. That'll be the Dogs with the breeze. Rosie, Horne-Francis, the Dogs' pressure. In fact, both teams' pressure was excellent in the first quarter. Bontempelli, that's a better handball. Back to English. High ball. Alir and Karmas, and Radigalier's got the match up on Norton.
You've liked last week, and the first example of centre bounce, Tim English getting a jump, not wrestling with his direct opponent, but getting a jump up over the top, Geordie.
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant in that area. So he's using his asset. He doesn't want to stand there and compete and wrestle. Use the jump, force the opposition ruckman to make a decision, potentially give away a free kick.
Here's Butters, his 5th clearance, but now it's the Dogs again who have got that wall set up for Lockie Bramble.
So this is an important kick. So all the Port Adelaide players will think it's going to the top of the goal square. See if he can find something a little bit shorter.
I'm not sure he's got the full distance in him, Bramble. It is a bit of a breeze, but it will go across. So he'll have to start this right.
Looks like he's going for it.
Going to back himself in. Of course, SSP selection yet to miss a game since getting picked up at the start of 2024. He gave it a good ride, but was always optimistic to get it from there.
Yeah, it's a poor kick in the end. Really, sometimes you've got to know your limitations. Bailey Williams was floating down late and became an option in the pocket, just didn't see him. See the movement here, Liberatore getting on the move, trying to block.
English decides to grab it himself. Gee, pretty effectively, but the handball couldn't find a teammate, and now Port Adelaide will chain it out through Drew. Rosie, he thought about giving it to Powell Pepper. Decided to go safety first, but again, it'll come back in through lob.
Well, that's the difference to the Dogs. So now they're playing assertive in front of the Port Adelaide forwards, so they need to adjust. They need to be right up on players like Rory Lobb.
Drills one into the pocket.
Good luck marking that one, Joey.
Yeah,
There's some genuine pace on it, that kick from Rory Lobb.
Tim, Jordan.
another boundary throw in. There's Rory Lobb playing back in defence.
He's got the spare behind the ball. It's Williams again.
English again grabs it out of the ruck, and this handball was better to Richards, who goes with a banana. As good as you will see on the run, check side. Ed Richards, wow.
What a finish from Ed Richards. Execution was unbelievable. Left foot banana. You can see him work around. They've been getting some good movement. Tim English has had a good start to this second quarter, and that's an elite finish. And I think in the end, Joey, he did well not to celebrate with nobody. He turned back to his teammates. There's no one on the other side of that ground, maybe one construction worker.
Oh, the one construction worker had the best seat in the house.
It nearly looked like it was a set play through English and Richards. As soon as English grabbed that ball, Richards was there, ready to go. And then it took a little bit of brilliance to put it through the middle.
Well, that is as good a goal as you'll see this season for Ed Richards. He's having one hell of a season.
So English starting to get on top in the middle, starting to grab it out of the ruck.
And back in the middle, Dogs in front for the first time today. Sweet. He was able to get the handball free. Horne-Francis, Butters under pressure. It was Kennedy. Rosie under pressure. And now Drew trying to work his way through. Did it pretty well, but now Rosie. And eventually they cough it up. Dogs full of confidence. Trelaw, the crowd with anticipation were waiting for him. He took his time, has the ability to steady, goes towards Bont, who was held without the ball. His size was the issue. It was young Lorenz again. And now Marcus Bontempelli can make his mark in this contest.
The smart use again, Jordy. You've been big on the fact of just not bombing it in. It was the handball to draw. Yeah, it didn't bounce up, but it actually allowed the Bulldogs to get some flow when he was clean with picking it up at about 50, 55 metres out from goal.
Now Bontempelli, they get a good look at this one. Just hooked it a bit too much. They'll be disappointed.
He actually put that in the right spot there. Bon just didn't come back with the breeze like we've seen some kicks so far in this game. Move right to left.
Rosie,
That's a beautiful post kick.
Yeah,
that is so good. That allows Port Adelaide to really set up a nice passage of play.
And Redigalia was always just going to kick it long down the line. Lob. He's taken a couple of intercept marks already. Put that one down. Johannesson with his head over it. West. Good handball. And again, they get it to the outside. The Western Bulldogs. Arms. Just got a pack of players up ahead. No, we got the sit. He put it down. The crowd over here rose. And there it is. Rosie. The crowd appreciate this. Only a small crowd today, Jono, because of the construction work that's going on, but Norton got up.
Big leap by Aaron Norton. I'll tell you what, it's a big quarter for Ollie Lord. He's on Rory Lobb. So Rory Lobb's already taken a couple of intercept marks, had 3 disposals. He needs to get his positioning right to restrict the influence of Rory Lobb in this quarter.
Francis wins this one. O'Donnell got the fist in Georgiades and infringed in that contest. Doing a good job. The key defenders for the Western Bulldogs, O'Donnell and Lobb.
Once again, you just see the method. So into the breeze, they'll work their way through it, and here they're doing it the other way.
Johannesson goes straight down the middle. Karmas again got hands to it, and again there's going to be another free kick. This time against the Lear. They're forcing a bit of panic, aren't they? A bit of speed on the ball from the Dogs, going nice and direct. Look at Karmas just jumps at the ball. He provides an option in the air, commits his defender. Already kicked one today. He took the mark on the goal line in that first quarter. Only 9 for his career. Will kick from 45. Just needs to go straight at the goals. And the Western Bulldogs have started this second quarter in front form. It was effortless, wasn't it? By Buku Karmas, so he's providing a really good option for the ball. He'll take a rest on the bench now. So good kick by Johannesson to the advantage of the thought. Maybe the arm around was the thing that got Alir in the end by the umpire. There's a nice kick, just did not overkick it. Already the 5 inside forward 50s for the Dogs, 2 goals. And Karmas taking a seat after kicking his second. Only once in his career has he kicked more. His career high is 3 in a game. He's providing a real target. So it's over to Port Adelaide. Can they want to send a clearance and try and get it down there, end of the field? Tough day for the umpires in the middle, trying to bounce that ball with the wind. Try again. Torre wrapped up.
Clearance is 3 apiece in this quarter. Port Adelaide dominated first quarter in clearance.
Starting to get the work in there, the Western Bulldogs. There was Sanders who got that handball back to English, having a big start to the quarter. Vandermeer goes hard. I think the question at the moment the Port Adelaide coaches box need to ask is, do they need a deep spare? So the high half forward, quite often it's Sanders is coming up, the Port Adelaide defender is going right up with him. Rosie had trouble getting free all day. And the umpires paid holding the ball for no kick when he had no prior opportunity and just made an attempt.
And that's what you meant to do.
Everyone is looking around.
Yeah, Rosie can't believe it.
And it's going to be Sanders who'll be the recipient.
So look at the replay.
Unless the umpire is trying to
Arms
say
up.
because of arms up.
Arms up. That's all I can think of as well, Joey, in that instance. But I think it's pretty stiff.
So Riley Sanders, who's played every game so far this year, he's really building in his career nicely. 7 goals, 3 on the year. If he's seeing the other boys, he just needs to kick it straight to the goal line. And that's what he does. And the Dogs are really starting to put on the score with the breeze.
So they're in the Rosie here, but we'll have another good look at the contest that Rosie was involved in and then called holding the ball for the umpire's call was he didn't get a kick away, which he didn't. So that's all I can think of as well, Joey, in terms of your prior is if you lift your arms up, you've got the chance to dispose of the ball. LD, you got called on a few for North Melbourne the other night
Did he
as well. In exactly the same, in the same fashion.
If you want to break it down, he did actually make contact with the footy. So it was a harsh call either way.
He was stiff, and I think Vandermeer, I mean, there's ways to go about it. I didn't like what he went up and did to Rosie.
Still there.
Going on with it. Sometimes you can make a fool of yourself.
The Western Bulldogs taking full advantage of the breeze. Karmas now in the ruck. There is Vandermeer. Oh, someone wanted to know. Couldn't quite. Chalor from 55. And there's going to be another free kick. So the free kicks are definitely going the way of the Dogs this quarter. It's going to be downfield.
It's a big penalty, isn't it? It's a huge penalty. It really is. You're right with them lining up Vandermeer, the defenders on that occasion. They just missed that opportunity, but he's still into Rosie, so they're going to get frustrated with this Port Adelaide.
If it was the old days, it might have been a different response, Jono, but it's now 5 free kicks to zip this quarter. It's Norton. Missed it. He was put on a tough angle. And Port Adelaide dodge another bullet.
Well, they dodge a big bullet on that occasion.
Norton was going to take the lead now, of course, without Sam Darcy from Wild. 12 goals, 9 on the season now for him as Farrell tumbles the ball out towards half-back. Evans got it up to Rioli, who's come up the field to support his midfield. Butters just has to kick a high ball and hope for a contest. Standing his ground, taking a strong mark.
Yeah, that's where it's breaking down, isn't it? Across that centre-half forward line, those long kicks, the Western Bulldogs are dominating in the air.
Locks playing here at Mars Bailey-Dale, disposal number 11. Davidson, his first time here. Kick inside 50. West with a crumb. Vandermeer with the handle. Over the top. For one to run in and kick another one. The Dogs are on fire.
They're getting all in love here, the defenders, because of the work he put in on Georgiades to allow Bale to take that mark at centre-half back. The switch out to Davidson, who's a runner. We love these conditions. And it wasn't the best kick going inside forward 50, but they just had the numbers of the drop of the ball, were able to get goal side. And an easy goal for Aaron Norton.
It's great vision by Vandermeer in the end. Could blaze away. Bontempelli was probably another option as well. But Norton just read the play really quickly, made really good contest decisions to duck forward, was not an option. And Vandermeer was a player that had seen it. They might be getting into Vandermeer. Vandermeer's going at everyone at the moment.
Port Adelaide, their forwards in general play are too high. They've got to lengthen because you've got to be able to chip the ball. They've got into the breeze, so they've got to work the numbers, work the uncontested game. They're just running into a wall of players through the middle of the ground.
They're only taking the 13 marks, 9 marks in the first quarter, Dicko, so only 4 in the second. So you're right. They need to work out how to build this ball up rather than kick to a long contest.
Well, it's 8 inside 50s to zip. That's an extravagant leap from Boo. Karmas jumped over the head of Wines in the ruck. They now get their first inside 50 for the quarter. Dale, wrapped up from Powell Pepper. No free kick, but at least they get it. Well, there is a free kick for holding the ball now going in against Port Adelaide.
So that's a couple of tight calls on Port Adelaide, isn't it? Because the umpire said he had arms free on that occasion again.
Just the other observation when the Dogs get the ball, they're making the ground really big, forcing Port Adelaide to defend a lot of the oval. And this is how they've been able to get their uncontested marks.
That's on 5.
Here's Bramble. He's going to keep it skinny side. He's going to go to his tools. Norton works so hard to get back into that contest. Again through the hands. Farrell. Georgiades has got some separation. Did he mark it inside? He didn't. It's going to be out of bounds on the full.
Over the line, Marcus. Over the line. Thank you.
This is where Port just need to cover off the 45s. So just allow them to chip the ball and build it up.
Bontempelli, he feigned he was going to go on the right just so he could step around and get a deeper kick on the left. At the back was Norton, Wines, and Alier. Ran out of room and went out of bounds. You can see the construction work going on in the background there. That is all part of the Mars redevelopment, which was going to be part of the Commonwealth Games. It was going to be but instead they're going to get the 5,000-seat stadium, the new grandstand, I should say. It's going to be built on that side of the ground. They'll have a second set of change rooms, so they'll be able to accommodate some double headers or curtain raisers. And behind it, there'll be an athletics track as part of the big redevelopment here at Mars. So only 5,000 people this afternoon at this ground.
So Bond only 2 disposals in the first quarter. We spoke about that, Joe. He's up to 5 in this second quarter, starting to get himself involved in the game.
So some repeat stoppages here. Inside 50 in a quarter where the Dogs have kicked 4 goals, 2 to no score with the breeze. The subs, Jed Bustlinger, the second gamer, and Jeremy Finlayson. So a couple of tools to potentially come on a bit later in this contest. Wines doing the ruck work. That's what he needs to do, follow up.
Holding, Port Adelaide.
And Port Adelaide finally got a free kick. Port Adelaide fans that are here. A few Bronx cheers, and now they'll look to run. Butters, Bergman, chain of handballs now with Powell Pepper. They'll continue to run it. This is better, although Bergman went without it.
It was a good run though. They need to do more of that. So that is an idea that they need to do. So they need to build it up either through marks, which you can see there, I've only taken 1 for the quarter.
Karma still on the ruck. Able to palm that one down, and the Dogs win another clearance through Fraser. West had some influence, couldn't take that cleanly. Davidson tried to wrap him up, so did West. Well done from Radigalia. Now Port will look to find an uncontested mark, and they do. It's with Richards.
It just gives you a chance to take a breath, try and work out where the spares are from the Dogs. Right now it looks like they're down the line. Exactly where this ball will go.
Not a lot of movement from Port Adelaide. They're all accepting the kick to contest. And the Dogs will be more than happy just to take that out of bounds.
It is the challenge, isn't it? When you know where the kick will go, but you've still got to provide options for the kicker to engage the opposition. So know that it might not go to you, but you need to engage the opposition to take them away from where you eventually will go.
Butters.
That's good.
That's a brilliant clearance. Gets it. Oh, didn't quite get it deep enough on entry. Well read from O'Donnell. Having a really nice game. Bramble, the kick to advantage for the running Davidson. If he gets the right bounce, he'll back himself in. It's sat up in the air, so he's going to go towards Norton. And coming across Bergman to save the day.
He worked so hard then, Bergman, to push across to support in the air. Poor kick on the release though, which continues to build a bit more pressure for Port Adelaide. When they had players out on the far side of the ground, he was able to hit that target to Burgoyne.
Ollie. Bulldogs rock.
Ken Hinkley has got some thinking to do to try and stay in this contest. You can see the clangers as well this quarter, 12-1. They haven't been able to move the footy at all. Norton, McNeil, Harms, happy to feed it back. Trelaw, he ran out of room, so just sends it up for Norton. He's going to get a run and jump, but misjudged the flight. Davidson with the crumb. Harms, they can sweep it even wider. Cleary can give one more handball if he wanted. He decided to go alone, and it was the right option for Luke Cleary. Who gets his first goal in AFL footy? What a special moment for the young man. And more importantly, the Western Bulldogs get their 7th.
A strong build-up by hands again. They're able to win the 50-50 ball to clean this up in contest. Davidson through the middle, and then they had just support out the back and wide. Cleary, you're right, he had one more release, but decided to take it on himself and just really chipped it up high and let the wind do the work.
It just continued to carry for Luke Cleary. He's had to do it the hard way. Picked 61 in the 2021 draft. It's his 4th year, just his 12th AFL game. He had that sickening collision the start of the season with Jackson Archer, and now John, he was saying he's a really popular and important member of his team at the moment.
Big time, yeah. They're internally absolutely loving what he's providing at senior level. So his confidence is growing every week.
It's now a 29-point lead for the Western Bulldogs. Adelaide have to get to work. They have to stem the bleeding. English has had a big quarter. Bergman, he's been very good. Geez, they're numbering off quick, the Dogs. It's a low, flat ball. It was looking for Georgiades, but just standing in the way was me to pull down a nice one-hander.
Well, numbering off, I mean, just finding a direct opponent really quickly, making it hard for Port Adelaide to transition the ball, find a spare. This is better build-up.
That's what Ben Dixon's been talking about and wanting to see from Port all quarter. Just control and build it up. See if they can find one more. The kick will go towards Horne-Francis. Generally not a bad option, one-on-one. Can he make something happen for Superstar? Instead it goes off the side of the boot to Butters. He'll kick it to the top of the square. Dogs have the numbers and they do well to kill it. And kill it out of bounds. There's Tim English. As we said, leading the way in this second term, back in form, the big fella.
Yeah, and that's what you want from your ruckman. You love the tap work that he's bringing to the game. When there's a high ball inside your defensive 50, it's exactly what you need.
Coming off the game where he polled coaches' votes in that win against the GWS Giants. Powell Pepper and Fraser will just kick the grass. If that goes out of bounds, we know that will be insufficient intent.
Well, you can go in if you want or stay out 10.
It's a tough angle to come in from over there, isn't it, Jono?
Yeah.
End zone.
Just holds up like that.
Rosie's kick it is. They need some ground level presence. Rioli, Horne-Francis, nail Cleary in a strong tackle. The young man takes it well, bounces to his feet.
Where's Powell Pepper?
Horne-Francis again, trying to create something, getting physical.
He gets through Powell Pepper. You can just see it there at the bottom of the screen. Usually starts defensive side and gets on the move.
Thumbs up around.
Oh, just after giving Tim English a pump up, he's committed the cardinal sin. He's given away a free kick in a ruck contest 20 metres out. He can't believe it. It's going to be big Jordan Sweet. Really needs to convert here for his team.
Geordie on replay? I'm trying to work out what the free kick was for.
Thought the rucks do that in most contests. Anyway, be Jordan Sweet. He needs to really just kick through this one. Get one back for Port Adelaide. Well done. They get one against the run of play. They had a couple of minutes of ball in their half, and they're able to put it on the scoreboard. They get back to 3-4-22. Trailing by 23 points in their second quarter.
Yep, so a little bit of luck here. Not too sure. Yeah, we see that in nearly every ruck contest. And a lot get let go, but I can just, probably the umpire seeing his left arm there with the free kick, but important goal nonetheless. They really struggled to move the ball this quarter, Port Adelaide. Struggled to get it inside forward 50. They had a period of probably 2 or 3 minutes in their forward half, so it's nice to get a reward.
We're looking to turn 1 into 2 or 3 Port Adelaide before the half. And Kennedy, Richards and Liberatore for the Bulldogs. Horn Francis, Kennedy. Towards half forward, good contest from Trelaw, as we said, spending a bit of time at half forward today's first game back. And now Burgoyne to Bergman. Well, Francis has to sit under it. Well done from Richards. He's had some nice moments. But again, they're held up. Dogs defence well, organised.
Set well into the breeze here, restricting Port Adelaide.
They'll stay narrow side here, Port Adelaide. They flick it around and eventually Burgoyne just had to blast it without any real direction. It was easily picked off from Ed Richards. You see the Vandermeer working to the open side. That's good work rate. Might open up the middle. Here's Dale. Oh, he's made it difficult for his teammates. He's put them under the pump. Right on from Port Adelaide. We had too many options, Bailey Dale. When Vandermeer broke to the open side, I think it was James Harms in the middle of the ground.
Jordan, Tim, my back.
You see Bontempelli coming up as the half forward, straight into the stoppage. English, his handball chopped off from Lorenz. Butters. Handballed in hope more than anything, but it favoured Johannesson. And now they're away. Richards has Vandermeer in support. Good tackle from Burn Jones.
That's good hustle by Port Adelaide. They need to try and go off this and get an opportunity to score. That's positive play. Hustled back hard, defended well.
They don't have even numbers forward to the ball if they want to head inside 50, but they go wide. Yeah, Sweet's gone forward. Jason Horton-Francis looks to be the spare.
Move it on, play on.
Lorenz has had a bit of ball. Coming for disposal number 10. Kick towards Georgiades. There is Lords. Mark. No. Tried to claim it.
Thanks, mate. Tim, Jordan, watch my back, Jake.
Another chance here for Port to build some pressure. Richards had a good first half, as at Bailey Dale. Bergman has to sit under that one and takes another intercept mark.
That's an awesome grab, Joey.
Yeah.
End zone.
Now wants to drive it in to Georgiades, but Lomred at best. It was great work from Lob to get across and support. Just his reaction time, Lob. I mean, Lord was 2 metres behind him. They started shoulder to shoulder when that ball left Bergman's foot. He just reacts so quickly behind the ball. And it's a beautiful kick too for Kennedy.
Not 15, player.
He heard the call at 15, and Bontempelli sees Bramble now in a bit of space. He's got Cleary for support if he wants him, or he can go forward himself. It's West that's deep. Norton in the pocket. Instead, the handball from Davidson went nowhere. And now Port Adelaide might be free if they can break this line. They've got open forward line. This can work. Richards to Georgiades. They do get it over the top. Georgiades can run in, or he can go back and have a shot. Oh, I thought he might have tried to find a better option closer to goal.
I think it was well played by Williams, who decided to stay back. Normally the defender will come up to man the mark, and then it's the easy one over the top. But he made the right decision there, because he'd rather the Oppo today be having a shot from where Georgiades is, which is difficult to execute, than the easy one over the top into the breeze.
He's going to have to compose himself now. You can see 17 goals, 11 for the season. He's become clearly the #1 forward at Port Adelaide. Without Marshall, without Lukosius. And that can sometimes be an issue for Mitch. Yeah, but they're having a 5-minute patch though, Joey, that they should be proud of going into half-time. And certainly give them an idea on how the game should be played. And they've had the better of the last 7 or 8 minutes here.
This is why their halfbackers have come now into the game. Intercept marks. Burgoyne on this occasion. Bergman's been strong as well.
He's been a little bit more patient with ball in hand, I think, as well. He flirted with going into the corridor. He looked, he thought about it. Instead, he goes safety first. This time the mark should be paid the Lord. Good contested mark.
Stand, goal. Stand, play on, play on.
Lorenz has Horn Francis just inside 50. That's where he goes.
If he can kick this will be an almighty goal.
Oh, Jono, you're spot on. Have a look at the goal goalposts, they're moving, swaying left to right. This would be an incredible goal.
Where's that hot dog stand to go?
10 metres to his left, and that's where he's aiming.
He'll most likely have to start this one outside the left goalpost. From this distance range, it will be some hell of a goal if he can kick it from here. You wouldn't put it past him though. This is going to be okay. Just too far to the left. That's the journey, no worries.
Exactly. I thought it was going to become even harder than that.
He kicked it too hard.
Yeah.
That was the more likely result, just the one behind. And now the Dogs are going to want to quickly try and transition. They have the outnumber. Davidson has just been off with his disposal a bit this afternoon, the young man, although to work out full rest. English. Oh, that's a nice little sleight of hand for Liberatore. Now they get out the back. The Dogs not in the box seats. Well, that's good transition from the Doggies.
It's pure, isn't it? With the breeze. And look, it wasn't, there was one inaccurate kick, and that was Davidson, but he got away with it to Riley West. And then the English handball was super to Liberatore to keep this play going. You can see there, just a little pop handball.
Once they broke over halfway, the forwards were in the box seat. Norton has been able to cash in a couple of times. He's got two now, and he's getting on the end of some good ball movement up the field.
It's a quick response, isn't it, Jono? 6 goals, 2 for the quarter. So they just sensed there was open play. They were able to handball chain. There was runners involved, and it made it really difficult to get set in defence, as you can see there from Radigalia.
And how good's that from Joel Fraser as well? First-year player. The way that he just blocks his opponent out without giving a free kick to allow Norton to take this mark. Smart from a young man. He's got a great footy brain, Joel Fraser. You can see that already with the way that he's playing his footy.
He's presented well, Norton. Just run under a few. Probably struggled to gauge the wind in the first quarter, but he's presenting. That'll be a recall, yeah. We're talking about the free kicks, but English is jumping. He got about 3 or 4 against Marshall when they played the Saints. And he's had a terrific second quarter, Tim English. Bar that free kick he gave away. Another deep ball. Ford Francis looks up, doesn't see much. Powell Pepper did well just to provide a contest and then cleans up his own work. He might be able to generate something, although Wines, he knew what he was trying to do. He saw Georgiades fall to the ball, but he missed it first time and the Dogs get back. And clear with some composure. Bergman. One of the bright spots this quarter for Port Adelaide goes to Georgiades. That's a good grab from a big key forward.
That is excellent, Joey. It's a great call. Port Adelaide did well again to win the ball back. Bergman, I think, has had an excellent quarter of football. Really got his game together. It's a nice deep entry. One-on-one football. Big kick now.
There's a big kick for some momentum at the half. He had a shot from a very similar spot only a few minutes ago. He's had an excellent season as a key forward. Number 1 in the competition, marks inside 50, contested marks. And this is a big kick. And again, he's done the exact same thing and pushed it out to the left. And that's a disappointing end for Port Adelaide, but it was the Western Bulldogs who dominated that second term. It was a 6-goal-1 second quarter. The score review has been confirmed. It'll be Port Adelaide trailing by 26 points at the half. The Western Bulldogs, big second quarter. We'll be back right after this with Ben Dixon, Jordan Lewis and Brad Johnson to talk us through the first half.
All right, so the Bulldogs kicking with the breeze in that second term. They certainly made the most of it. Unlike Port Adelaide in the opening term, the Bulldogs putting on 6 goals, 2, kicking nice and accurate in that breeze. Port Adelaide 1 goal, 3. Tell you what, the ball's holding up a little bit in that breeze, definitely. And advantage for the team kicking with the breeze here at Mars Stadium there in Ballarat. Addy G, how you doing, Squire? How you doing? JFSD, Goji, how you doing? Go Doggies. Tell you what, the Dogs are looking pretty good at the moment. Certainly look to be on top here today. As we always say, we never know in football. Port Adelaide kicking with the breeze in the third term. They really need to capitalise on that, or else the Dogs will run away with this in the final term. Unless the breeze peters out and sort of drops away. But I can't see that happening. Port Adelaide need to lift. They need to get their kicking boot on. 3 goals, 7. It'd be better if it was 7 goals, 3. It'd be a little bit tighter, wouldn't it? But the Dogs taking their opportunities when they can. Of course, a little bit of a bad miss there by Port Adelaide, who should have kicked that goal on the siren after the siren. A little bit disappointing there. We'll be back with the commentators shortly. Let's just have a quick look now at the goal scorers. See what's happening there for everyone's favourite way of looking at the stats. Willie Rioli still on 2. Jordan Sweet on 1. That is it for Port Adelaide so far. For the Bulldogs, though, Aaron Norton had a lot better second quarter, kicking 2 goals. Well done. Karmas kicking 2 for the Doggies. Riley West with 1. Sanders with 1. Ed Richards and Luke Cleary also single goal scorers there for the Doggies. The AFL fantasy points up to half time. If you play that game, Zach Butters leading the way on 69 points. Matty Kennedy and Bailey Dale 62. The rest all under that. Disposal getters on the ground. Well, Bailey Dale, he's leading the way there for the Western Bulldogs on 18, having a great game. 12 kicks, 6 handballs, 4 marks, a tackle. Zach Butters, best for Port Adelaide on 15, was 7 and 8. 6 clearances, 8 tackles. He's doing well as normally does. Connor Rose, he's up to 14 there for the Power. Matty Kennedy next best for the Doggies on 12 with Jason Horn-Francis. Tommy Liberatore, he's still looking pretty good on 11. Couple of clearances, 5 kicks, 6 handballs, a tackle and 1 mark. Aaron McNaughton, as I said, had a good second term there. 10 disposals he's up to now. 6 kicks, 2 goals, 1 for the return for him, which is rather good. He's already had 3 marks and a clearance also, so he's doing well. Tim English back into the game in that second term, a lot better second term from him, up to 10, 12 hit-outs, a couple clearances for him. Adam Trelaw, a little bit slower in that second term though, still up to 9, just working his way back into the game, as Marcus Bontempelli is, just with the 9 touches. They'll certainly come into the game as this game keeps getting on. Sam Powell-Pepper, yet to really impact the game at the moment for Port Adelaide, just on the 8 disposals, just the 3 kicks, 5 handballs, and he scored the one behind on the scoreboard. There we go. All right, we will get back to the stats in just a moment. Let's head back down to the commentators for their analysis on the opening half.
Heading up in this first half. Well, Port were leading by 3 points at quarter time. It's now 26 points to the Western Bulldogs. Welcome to Super Saturday Live, brought to you by the all-electric Toyota BZ4X. First thoughts, Jordan, on the half of football?
Well, I think the Dogs have played the conditions perfectly, having had experience down here. They've been able to control the ball by kick mark, which Port Adelaide haven't been able to do. So, I mean, I think it's a fight. It's a competitive game, but Dogs are a little bit too classy at the moment.
And, Jono, we're talking about the method we've spoken about in the first quarter, who played it better in terms of the Doggies going into the breeze, but Port Adelaide, going into the breeze, it hasn't been the method they'd wanted today.
No, they'd want a little bit more overlap run from behind, because the Bulldogs have been able to set the ground up really well defensively, work together for the aerial battle, which they've been able to win defensively. Rory Lobb's been excellent at that, Bailey Dale on that occasion, and then their transition from there has been quite fluent. They've been able to get enough switches on the ball as well, which have led to some really strong inside 50s and a high-scoring quarter.
We did see change, probably 10-minute mark or 15-minute mark of that quarter from Port Adelaide. A little bit more method in which the way that they move the ball.
And hopefully they learn. They've got to lengthen and open up the congestion through the middle of that ground.
Yeah, and this is probably the other difference going inside forward 50. You just see there, Port Adelaide 21% and Bulldogs 62. So their efficiency, their kick going inside forward 50 has been more damaging in the first half.
And the positive for Port Adelaide, Zach Butters, 6 clearances. That is his bread and butter. But for them to fight back in the second half, Jono. There's a lot on his shoulders today.
Well, there is, and you can see pre-game just working and talking through how to structure centre bounce against the Western Bulldogs. That's where all their stars are through the midfield, and Zach Butters has been absolutely brilliant with that. A number of clearances, 6 for the first half, and the one there with Ollie Wines was one of the best of the game so far, where he was able to then turn around, kick inside forward 50, Willie Rioli mark and goal. So that was pure. It doesn't always come pure, but he just works so hard around the contest.
Well, Jordan, let's look towards the third quarter. What do Port do? Because they'll have the breeze.
Well, I think they've got a decision to make with Rosie. Do you bring him back into the midfield to give Butters some support? Because at the moment it's just Butters or no one else. He's had 8 tackles too, Butters, so he's doing offense and defensive work. So I'd bring Rosie back into the midfield, give them some midfield drive.
John, have you seen Rory Lobb? We mentioned him off the toe. Is he going to play back? Is he going to play forward? And Bevo is pretty strong. It's always going to be back.
Yeah, he's been excellent. He really has. He reads the ball so well, and I think it's a key defensive battle at the moment. Alir and Radigalia versus what Rory Lobb and O'Donnell are doing for the Bulldogs, and I think Lobb is the one taking the points at the moment between that aerial battle.
Well, it is the Doggies at half-time by 26 points, but we're looking forward to a super Saturday. We've got a massive game coming up after this. Adelaide and Carlton. Stick around. We've got a big second half coming up.
All right, they will be back not too far away. Let's get back to some of these stats, folks, because we know everyone loves the stats. See how your player's going. Where we up to? Well, there somewhere, weren't we? Logan Evans there on 8 there for Port Adelaide, of course. Riley West had a nice opening quarter. Slowed down a bit in the second. He's only had the 6 touches, 1 kick, 5 handballs. He's had a tackle, but he's kicked 1 sausage roll. Yeah, that's right. He's kicked a goal there for the Doggies, so not too bad. Who else have we got? Is that about it? Willie Rioli, a little bit of a live wire he is. Get the ball to him and you're going to be looking good. Willie Rioli, he's only had the 3 touches. He's had 2 kicks for 2 goals though, a handball, a couple of tackles and a clearance. So they want to get the ball down to him a little bit more often. Team stats, let's just have a look at those up until half-time. There we go, the Bulldogs, there we go, plus 21 disposal count, plus 20 in the kicks, handballs, all pretty tied up there. Inside 50s, both teams getting a fair bit of it at the moment, although the Port Adelaide Power, they'd like to be going inside a little bit more. 28 inside 50s to the Western Bulldogs for 11 scoring shots. Port Adelaide, 10 scoring shots inside 24 times. There we go, disposal efficiency around the ground. Western Bulldogs a little bit cleaner there with the ball, a little bit more efficient at 75. Port Adelaide trailing 69. They need to lift that. Efficiency inside 50. Both teams going around the 45, 46. Free kicks, not too bad out there today considering 10-9. Pretty standard for the season's average for both teams here today. Good to see the umpires aren't having a field day blowing their whistle like we've seen in a couple of games already this week. Hitouts, Port Adelaide winning that department there, 16-27, plus 11. The clearances all tied up. Good to see both mids doing well there. Centre clearances, though, Doggies a little bit better out of the centre. 7-4 stoppage clearances, Doggy. Port Adelaide just in front, plus 3 there. Contested possessions, Port Adelaide, there we go, 80-13, leading plus 6. Uncontested, 26 to the Doggies, just a little bit more control of the ball out there today. Turnovers, there we go, 36-34. It's possibly going to be reasonably high turnover today. Just with that breeze, that wind being a contributing factor in that way. Doggies, well, they're marking a little bit better, aren't they? 43-28, plus 15. Marks inside 50. Both teams a little bit low. I'm sure they need to be just looking for their leading targets a little bit more, create a little bit of space for each other. A little bit low for both teams, 3 and 4 contested marks. Port Adelaide already doing reasonably well, already up their season average pretty much. Season average are 8 for Port Adelaide, already on 7, so good signs for them. And of course, the tackles, both tackles teams tackling reasonably well. But look at the Port Adelaide, look at that, 12 tackles inside 50. That's fantastic pressure so far, already past their season's average. All right, we are going to get back to the commentators in just a moment when they are back. But don't forget, folks, don't forget, we've got the poll up today. Who's going to win this game again? So far, we've got 62% saying Western Bulldogs If you think that's correct, you tip the Western Bulldogs. If you think Port Adelaide, make sure you tip Port Adelaide. We'll see who is right at the end of the day. Our polls are generally pretty well correct. Got a good percentage rate on the polls. But let's see how Port Adelaide go in this third term anyway. They are kicking with the breeze again. Of course, it's got to be probably, well, it looks to be at least a couple of goals in favour with the breeze, as we saw. Port Adelaide got out of the gates well. Willie Rioli was the first goal scorer of the game. All right, let's head back down to the commentators.
Yeah, it's hard to go past, Jordan, in terms of what they've got. That's courage from Phil Thorpe, because a compound fracture is not easy to get over.
Well, no surprise. He just looks like a mean key forward. He just crashes packs for fun. But no, big win. They'll be looking to bounce back from what was a disappointing performance last week for Adelaide.
And I've got to love the fact that Carlton, after a slow start, like I've said, a little bit of momentum, well, a little bit, 3 in a row, and they're certainly playing with enormous confidence.
Oh, the big one was last week, wasn't it, Geordie? They took care of the Cats, who were in good form themselves. So they build confidence. They're a confidence team. The Blues, they get going and they get rolling, and they're very difficult to stop.
Well, it was really the first time they had Mackay and Curnow together. They started together in Adelaide on gather round, but Mackay obviously went off with concussion. So that was their first look last week with the two big boys up front.
Jono, leaning towards Carlton in this one?
No, the Adelaide Crows.
Right.
I think they'll respond, especially with Fogarty back into the lineup. I like Brody Smith with his experience as well. So I think Adelaide at home.
We'll take 2, Jordan.
Where'd you go?
I won't jump down your throat, but I'll just say Adelaide.
Well, we're going through our Super Saturday. Eagles and Melbourne. We're looking for the Eagles' first win.
No, not against Melbourne.
We're on a roll here at the moment, boys. And then we've got the blockbuster finishing tonight with Collingwood and Geelong.
I think Collingwood by 5 goals.
Just 5?
Yep. What do you think?
Oh, they're on fire. I think it's going to be a bit of a demolition at the end.
Right.
Really? Okay, I expect it to be a little bit closer than that. But that's why the game is great to go, because we'll look at it through a different lens, and hopefully we get a really close game and it's just an absolute ripper.
Well, speaking in terms of the turnaround here at Mars Stadium, what have the Power got to do to turn this second half around?
Well, I think, it is in and around the contest, but they have the win this quarter, so I'm thinking that it needs to be a 5 or 6 goal quarter for them to be in the hunt going against the win in the fourth term. But they need to build the ball up. We've spoken about it. We've showed it. Now we need to see it put in place.
Do you want the Horn Francis of the world to come through the stoppage game, Jono? Like, it just looks like they need some energy injected. We spoke about Butters obviously doing his best.
Yeah, well, the Dogs are winning it on the outside at the moment, so that's the challenge. Inside, Port Adelaide have been very competitive with Drew and Butters and the clearance game, but then it's Horn Francis, who's shown a little bit in that second quarter with his run and pace and what he can do. But I agree with Geordie in terms of Rosie and maybe just changing his positioning up in this third quarter in particular, because their drive forward is critical, but it's their ball use going forward. They've got to be calm with it. They've got to be controlled and not just bomb it consistently.
Well, it is the Dogs by 26 points halftime here in Mars Stadium in Ballarat. But Kenny's boys have got plenty to think about in this second half. They're 2 from 2 here at Mars, but their backs against the wall. Big second half coming up.
All right, folks, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes' time with the bounce of the ball for the third quarter here at Mars Stadium.
part of a midfield group that really controlled the big part of the game. How did Port Adelaide give themselves a chance at three-quarter time?
They have to control it. They have to control the ball going forward. They'll get enough looks, Joey, inside forward 50. We showed that their efficiency throughout this game hasn't been great when they've been able to get the ball inside forward 50. And I like the way Geordie's explained the fact of kicking with the wind and not just bombing it to the goal square and hoping for that big grab. You do have options at 40, 45 metres out from goal that if you're able to hit them up effectively, then you can be in a great position to have a shot at goal.
We saw a couple of the Dogs players just nurse the ball through from sort of 45, so that would be the challenge, Joey. It has to be a big corner for the Port Adelaide Football Club to give themselves a chance. They need to lead at three-quarter time.
And Bont's just starting at centre-half back for this one, Joey, in this quarter. He'll roll straight up, and looks like maybe Bramble or something like that will replace him as the defender who's standing on the wing at the moment.
Nice luxury to have Marcus Bontempelli just patrolling the half-back line into the breeze.
Not really arm across, Joey.
So we're underway. You think it's the Port Adelaide midfield. They're going to have to get to work. This man, Horn Francis, along with Butters, but it's Richards, who's been excellent again today with the first centre clearance. They got over the head of Weston Jones, and immediately it's down the Western Bulldogs end. Big Dicko, we come here. There's been a substitution already.
Yeah, Joe Berry, half-time sub out of the game. Jerry Finlayson, he'll find himself in, and he's parked himself at full forward.
So Ken Hinkley's pulled the trigger, trying to see if they can generate something in this third quarter to get themselves back into the contest that they trail by 26 points. Rosie, he's kicked no 15. They've got a wave of runners. Butters again involved. Lord up the ground, looking to give it back to the runners. Burgoyne, Richards.
Change to a handball game.
Certainly have. They're running themselves into trouble, but well done, young man. Well done from Lord, the composure to get it to Zach Butters, who pops it up there. He's Bontempelli at halfback. Couldn't quite bring it down. Richards had followed up, worked inside 50. And now the Bont does get a disposal, but it might be coming back because it was towards a couple of Port Adelaide players. Farrell was one of them, but wasn't able to take it cleanly and just worked out of bounds by Joel Frazier.
Well, there's an early indication on what Port Adelaide might do from half-back. Handball chain. Involve the runners, keep the ball in close proximity. So if there is a mistake, at least you've got numbers around to put some pressure on and try and get it back.
As you predicted, Jono, Bont wasn't going to stay there for long. He was into this contest. And the clearance towards half-forward, Treloar. Couldn't find a teammate. And now Sweets, who clearly wants to give the handball. They don't want to kick it. Butters. So good. Now Burgoyne has a bit of time and space. Looking for a mark inside 50. The lead was on. Good courage from O'Donnell coming the other way.
Oh, it was fantastic by O'Donnell. He had to come into the leading path of Jeremy Finlayson. He knew he was going to cop some physical attention. There's been a lot of stoppages over in that forward pocket, Joey.
Port Adelaide try and jag a goal from this pocket like they did with Rioli to open it. Flying shot off the grounds.
I think it was Horn Francis, was it? Or Richards coming through?
Yeah, the Dogs were able to get 3 forward 50 goals in the second term. It was a big score source for them.
He opened on this broadcast wing, and Bailey Dale uses it so nicely, and he continues to run on. He'll get 3 touches in the one chain, and another good kick. As Poldo's Brownlow votes here, Jono. He kicks it so well despite the breeze. Now they go forward, West. Karmas, English in the box seats, and that is far too easy, Jordan Lewis, from one end to the other.
Well, you're right. We haven't seen either side really attack this side of the ground. It has been a lot of the play over the open side. So the Dogs really overloaded this side in numbers and were able to create some space, build it up through a bit of a kick mark game. Bailey Dale was the one that started it. He nearly could have got it back inside forward 50. And terrific run by Tim English.
Had a big second quarter. It was terrific last week, and he's going to look to kick his second goal of the season. Doesn't need to give the goals away, just needs to kick through it. And that's exactly what he does. And that one's going to hurt if you're a Port Adelaide fan. Dogs with the first into the breeze.
Well, it was just too easy out of full back again for the Dogs to be able to run the ball the way they did out of their back line. Uncontested in a way, and Bailey Dale was involved in that.
Just watch
on
Bailey
3 or
Dale.
4 occasions.
Right. Just watch him keep run, providing options, and really asking questions of the Port Adelaide defenders. You see there.
And Tim English in the middle of the screen as well. He just gets goal side of Sweet and was able to continue to push forward. Jordan Sweet just looking around, couldn't find him, and it was too late.
Bailey Dale's run 120 metres, and the defence or the pressure from Port Adelaide was horrendous. Just walking by the time he got into inside 50.
Bulldogs forwards doing a good job keeping their direct opponents out of the contest if they have someone who looks like they're going to mark it uncontested. Camus on that occasion. Fraser again did a great job on Burgoyne.
That's their third goal from defensive half. Bailey Dale instrumental, 21 disposals already today. Kick only as far as Kennedy, Bramble. They've got their tails up here, the Dogs. Johannisen, clever kick, just went short of enemy. Might be too far out to be able to score himself, but he can try and find one more mark. And he goes back to his ruckman again. Tim English.
He is jumping so well at the moment, isn't he, John? And like even in that instance, he just hung in the air. I also want to go back to the handball from Dogs through the middle of the ground in Brambles. Just put it out in the open spaces for Johannisen. Didn't have to break stride. He's causing some issues in the middle and now forward of the ball.
We saw Mitch Georgiades almost identical in the second quarter from where he's going to kick this. Didn't move a lot, so let's see what this does.
There's the angle for 2 in 2 minutes for Big Tim. And he does exactly what Georgiades did a couple of occasions in that second term. Pushes it out to the left.
I think that's in a little straight pocket there. You can just see from that one, it's not moving a lot.
It's a bit of a barometer, isn't he, Tim English? When he plays well, the Bulldogs jump on board and away they go.
Farrell's going to use that thumping left leg to go straight down the corridor. He cleared the centre circle, but again, the Dogs have been able to pick it off with an intercept mark this time, Bramble. Everyone's paired off here, so he goes towards his key forward in Norton. In front of Adegoya. Bontempelli just lurking. Kicks to the top of the square. English again. Breeze just took that one away from him. He's lurking.
He just didn't read it well, did he, Tim English? The ball was always going to drift to where it landed, and he just pushed in under the contest rather than just halting on his run. He would have taken another uncontested mark.
And he's troubling his former teammate, Jordan Sweet, at the moment. Richards, Bontempelli just taps it into space. He knows it's dangerous inside his forward 50. West, back to Johannisen. Tumbles the ball. Fraser at the wait for it. Rosie in pursuit. Kennedy thought he was held without it, and so did the umpire. And in front of those Port Adelaide fans that are starting to get quite vocal, and the short kick again was clever to Ed Richards.
Played on quickly. Even West identified it, got the ball back to Kennedy really quickly so that he could execute that to Ed Richards.
Isn't it fun? The little things matter.
They do, yeah. Especially in conditions like this where, especially kicking into the breeze and taking time off the clock, having set shots.
Having his career best year is Ed Richards. Career highs, disposals, clearances, score involvements. He's been excellent again today. He already kicked a goal of the year contender. Now he's got his second. This is making it awfully hard for Port Adelaide now, Jono. 38 points, game high lead.
So you can see here, so it's a good contest, Fraser, and then Paul Francis just gives away the free kick there, a little hole on Kennedy, who just tapped the ball away. But see the quick kick back there. So, Jordy, that's a great way to explain it about the little things matter in games of football. And it's being able to identify where your teammates are at, but also where the game situation is at, and you're in total control.
You're just keeping your head in the game.
Yep.
You're looking for little opportunities to become better, to move the ball on quicker, to allow your teammate to have better options. This is getting out of hand now for Port Adelaide.
There's Kennedy and English, Kennedy and Richards, I should say, both having career best years. There's Kennedy again, centre clearance in front, McNeil, everything going the Dogs' way.
Tim English is having a clinic out there now. He's in total control. The communication between he and his mids.
Lockie McNeil back into the side today after missing a week with a hammy. He's kicked the goal in every game he's played this season. From 47 out, has it got the journey? Not quite. Over to Port Adelaide to find a way to respond and get themselves into this game. They're going to continue just to drive it straight down the middle. This one will work, Rioli. If he looks up, he's got runners. One of them's Burn Jones. The kick was good, got to him, isn't it?
First one didn't work for Port Adelaide. Second one has. Out of full back, long to the middle of the ground.
And goes short to Georgiades. Oh, instead the umpire said not 15, but he was good enough to turn, stand, deliver and finish. Quality goal from Georgiades.
Didn't have time to think about it, Geordie. Just had to turn.
No, I think it was the right call. I don't think it was a 15-metre kick. But you're right, he's just had the ability to steady himself and slow through the big kick. That kick from full-back is an all-or-nothing kick, isn't it? And Willie Rioli was the recipient early on in the middle of the ground. This one just turned towards goal 1-2, and it was a really good strike of the ball by Georgiades after being paid to play on. So it's a quick response, but now they go back to the centre square. This is Finlayson against Buku Kama. So can they take advantage of Finlayson's height and get it going their way?
Some of it's Georgiades' numbers the last 6 weeks. Number one targeted forward in the competition. He's had the most shots at goal. He's been slightly inaccurate, as he has today, 1 goal, 2, but that was a good finish. So it is Carmus and Finlayson. And there was a clear hold there to the Brownlow medalist, Ollie Wines.
No sign of this breeze dying down at all, boys. So still a 4 to 5 goal breeze going right of screen.
Coming up for disposal, number 12. He just tries to kick it as far as he can, but it wasn't a good option.
It was just a poor kick. Once again, you've got to build the ball up. Bergman had spread wide to the wing.
Carmus missed deliver. Fraser's there. Always looks so composed. Kick to McNeil. Now he's got some runners. Trelaw. Kennedy's working hard for him, as is Vandermeer. The kick will get over the back. Well done from Evans, did just enough. And did well not to give away the free kick.
Yeah, he did really well not to give away the free kick, as we see there, Pau Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper's just limping there. He had a collision with Ollie Wines. You can just see here in the screen, bang. Oh, just took the legs out.
Sweet. It's the last thing you need.
When you're 150th.
He looks sore too.
He does.
Finlayson decides to grab it out of the ruck. Interesting to see how the umpires see this. Insufficient intent. Trelaw, Sanders. Trelaw, that little shovel give back to Sanders. Now a high ball, so had a bit of a meal of that. Ryans wasn't paid the mark. Have you seen Adam Trelaw? Jono?
Yeah,
He's getting his hands on the footy.
Yeah, really good. He's always going to find footy, isn't he? Up to 13 disposals in this game, but I think he's worked well, played mainly as a half forward throughout this game.
Looks to be moving well, doesn't he? Here he is again. Couldn't quite get the first handball received. Liberatore has a good feed back to Bailey Dale. One of his worst kicks for the afternoon. Lob. Just worked Lord out of the contest easily. And Johannesson's fumble. But he was good enough to recover. And Cleary goes to Fraser. His lead's short. One of them's west. Carmus is longer. Norton will try and get there late, but from Finlayson did the body work early.
Let's see how Port build this one up, because we've seen some long bombs out with a wall set up by the doggies.
It's not very compressed at the moment, which means there's space. So it's going to be a risky kick. It was aggressive. Which way is it going to work? Well done from Lob. Although his tap on just missed Johannesson, who did well enough to get the hand in. Pressured Mead out of it, and then fires up and did enough to pressure Butters. Well done, Jason Johannesson. He got 200. Huge contest win.
It was a great contest, I think, by both players. For Butters to be able to provide the run through the middle of the ground, Finlayson to take the kick. And you're right, just here, we're lucky not to give away a free kick, Johannesson. But terrific contest on the outer half forward line.
Now on replay, it was taken high. Zach Butters. And another sharp whistle against Rioli for holding the ball.
Not much movement, as you can see there.
So long to a contest. Ali had the advantage on McNeil.
Got a huge switch option here if they want it.
That's the thing, he didn't look quick enough, Dicko, so that switch option was taken up. Instead he decides to go to the big boys, top of the square. Powell Pepper looks to have recovered okay and gets a goal in game 150. And they just get a little bit of momentum, the Power.
Yeah, I really like that from Sam Powell-Pepper. His attack to the contest. He's a hard worker, we know that, but he hit this with genuine speed. He picked up the flight of the ball nicely, knew where it was going to drop, and that's how he was able to get himself forward to the contest uncontested. So he works over towards it, picks it up. Excellent. Well played from Sam Powell-Pepper. But more importantly, that intercept from Alir was so important, because at least they get some battles in the air up forward where the Bulldogs weren't able to release to take an intercept mark.
Now it's just good footy now from Sam Powell-Pepper. He knew with the breeze, the likelihood, the percentages of it getting over the back were there. Took the gamble and it paid off. Of course, pick 18 back in 2016, Powell-Pepper. You know, he's had his injury issues. He's now a big part of this group. He's in the leadership group, signed out till 2029. He's trying to help his side fight a comeback in this third quarter. English a little fumble, but he was taken high.
They were out to Port Adelaide again. Fumble helped him on that occasion.
They keep giving it to Dale at every opportunity. This kick not his best. Sat up. Vandermeer working. Sanders, McNeil. Another gift to Fraser, who's got some class. He's got some talent. He's got a sensational goal. Joel Fraser. How good is that?
Get around this young man. His rise in the competition is rapid.
How about the poise and the composure?
Oh, the Bunnings build up here. It's huge from the Bulldogs. The composure from McNeil not to snap it, and then the step from Fraser. Little checky, little beauty.
Yeah, the rise has been rapid, hasn't it, Jono? This Joel Fraser.
Halfback last year. Brendan Lade was massive on getting him through the midfield this year, and it's worked wonders.
Well, I thought it was Bailey Dale off halfback. You'd be thinking Port Adelaide, defensive forward, because his last transition 3 times has resulted in goals.
Yeah, good call, Dicko. He's having a huge influence in this game, Bailey Dale. And the Dogs win another clearance. Trelaw into the centre bounce on this occasion. Bontempelli on his left. High ball. Calmness there. McNeil trying to keep Alir out of it. Vandermeer with another crumb. And the handball was good. English with a clever pickup. Bontempelli around the body. He says, Joel Fraser, I'm still the number 1 man. I am still the legitimate bunt. You might be the junior bunt, but I am the man. What a finish. Dogs putting on a clinic.
Well, Fraser raised, Bont went all in. Wow, we've been out on the ground to see the difficulty in these conditions. That kick, it's really hard to get goals from there, let alone going to the outside, hooking it around your body. You're even spurred on by that Fraser goal.
I think so.
That is terrific.
Probably won't even feature in goal of the year, but with how tough the conditions are and what that wind is doing, this is legitimately one of the best goals of the season because of what he has to deal with condition-wise. Look at that.
It was a great call, Joey. A couple of really important goals, but great goals.
But just to know how much you had to hook that back, you start that out wider than you usually would, and it came back beautifully. And after a little mini fight back from Port Adelaide, the Dogs have all the answers. Bontempelli and Richards again. Harms. Burgoyne. Big 50-50 ball. Clever little underground, but the Dogs are everywhere. And they're going to get another free kick. They're just working harder here. Ed Richards coming up for disposal. Number 8 to go with, disposal 18 to go with his 2 goals. Into the pocket. Bontempelli, he's more than happy to take the ball up. Worked himself up to 15 disposals now, Bont. 5 tackles, 6 score involvements. After only 2 disposals in the opening term. Rosie wants to switch the ball, but he's going to ask a lot of his teammates because none of them are really ready for it. And Davidson wants to go back in ball quickly. Had the right idea, just didn't quite execute. Picked off by Farrell, who again is just taking a gamble. This one might work out. Pepper had a fumble, and the Dogs have the outnumber. Davidson, not short or 50-50, and Logan Evans gets that out of bounds. As Joel Frazier comes in as a spell.
I think also with this Dog side, Joe, you don't need to have huge numbers. You don't need multiple players, 30-plus possessions. You're right, Bailey Dale with 23. He's the only player in the 20s. Ed Richards, 18. Kennedy, 17. English. So the spread in terms of the disposal count through this side at the moment is really even.
Torre got the hands free. Trelaw getting better the longer this game goes. Karmas has provided a real target forward of the ball.
Bontempelli deep on a Lear.
West saw him, thought about it. Davidson continued to run on. He'll kick it to the top of the square. Oh, Bont! He's dropped one that he would usually swallow.
The speed of ball movement has been so impressive in this third quarter. The last 10 minutes, handball received 17-0 in favour of the Doggies. They're just running in waves.
And just to remind the viewers, this is against the breeze.
English again got hands to it. Got it out in space for Sanders.
Here, yours.
Cleary. Trelaw under pressure, but again, another tackle. Yeah, they look formidable through the midfield now, don't they? They've got the full complement today. Trelaw back. Richards, Bontempelli, Libba, Frazier. Kennedy.
Play on!
Coming through McNeil. Sanders. West had a little bit more time than he thought, so he was able to turn and face goal. And Bontempelli. Too good for Alir on the goal line.
So you mentioned all those mids, though. They're actually quite good forward of the ball as well, so that they can rest forward, still have an effect on the game and be back in their main role.
He can't keep a good man down. Bontempelli now having some significant influence on this game. He's kicked 2 for the quarter, and it's out to a game high, 45 points.
They've just got danger all over the field at the moment. So those midfielders roll into secondary positions, but they become equally as good. And this is what happens when he doesn't want to rest at half-back, an aggressive half-back. He just rests deep forward on a really experienced defender in Alir, but you can just see there the size and the strength. Alir goes to ground. Bontempelli keeps his feet.
Well, they're taking control of clearance. I know the first quarter was all about Port Adelaide and dominating that, but even this quarter alone, Bulldogs are leading 12-5. Tim English has had a big say in that.
He's jumping really well once again in the centre bounce. Sweet just hasn't had any answers at the moment for Tim English.
Sweet does win that.
Rosie in the middle of the ground.
Try to get something. Ken Ickley's put his captain into the centre bounce, and Pal Pepper try and get something going. And he's trying to be physical. He's going to spend some time around the ball. Drew gets it out to Rosie. Just off the instep. Georgiades was first to react, couldn't take it cleanly. Rioli, clever. Richards harms him well not to fall into his back and take him down. That's the textbook tackle behind.
It is, isn't it? Maybe they went to work on it during the week, but that was great by James Hard, just coming down from a wing position, sliding in to help defensively.
Line.
Yeah, that is the perfect tackle. AFL will be happy with that.
So Williams from deep in defence will kick towards the wing. Gets over the back. And McNeil having some influence as well in this quarter to Norton in a one-on-one. His feet. McNeil again. Clean. Libba. Out to Trelaw, who sees Bontempelli again working forward. Didn't get to him on the full. Richie looms a threat. If there's one coach in the league, John, that would love to have all these magnets now that he can just move around and manipulate, it would be Luke Beveridge.
Absolutely. He likes for them to play with some adventure. And we're seeing that again in this third quarter.
Richards went without it. Burgoyne's kick smothered. Harms. Karmas in front. At ground level, they've been good, the Dogs, in this situation. Davidson wrapped up the one arm. But we get a stoppage. They're pressing again here, the Bulldogs. It's been a ruthless third quarter. The breezes died down a little bit, and Jordan Sweet has given one back to Tim English after English gifted him one earlier in the game. And Jordan Sweet, who has given away more free kicks than any player in the competition this year, is giving a chance for Tim English to line up for another one.
He's really challenged him, hasn't he, Joey?
Sam, jump out, please.
Who's been dominant, Tim English.
Already 1 goal won this quarter. This will be his third shot for the term. Casual strolling, but got the finish. And the Dogs are now doing a number on Port.
It's quite amazing into this breeze as well. Still at half-time, Port Adelaide would have been discussing the fact that just getting back into the contest, use the breeze to their advantage to do it. But the Bulldogs have been all over them from a midfield point of view, the amount of ball possession. They're winning double possession for the Bulldogs in this quarter, double contested possession, triple uncontested possessions, and winning clearance. So dominated all areas of the ground.
That's 5 goals in the forward 50 for the Dogs. So to put that into perspective, Port Adelaide have given away from stoppage. Port Adelaide have given away 5 goals for the season, and they've given that away in the first 3 quarters to the Dogs.
And so sound, generally defensively, Port Adelaide, but it's crumbled today. Dicko, just to you on the boundary, is that wind still as strong as it was earlier in the game?
Certainly is, Joey. It looks at times that might have died down, but you can see the post still moving left of screen and it's heavily to the right, about a 5-goal breeze.
Well, they're dominating through the middle of the ground. You can see that ball hold up, so that's spot on. English launches himself. We haven't seen that for a while from the big man. Bergman, one of Port's better players. Just gets it out of the danger zone for the time being. Georgiades overran it. Cleary, nice. Richards, been excellent. Harms, patrolled that wing all afternoon. Trelaw, play the handball. Their hands have been so good, as they always are. Kennedy, Karmas, did the team thing, got the fist in. Trelaw did get the hands free. Evans, his handball. To Powell Pepper. There's pressure everywhere from both teams. And Kennedy has nailed him in another tackle.
Not happy at all. They thought the Trelaw one should have been done holding the ball, and then to get one of your players done holding the ball.
It's not good, is it?
Right in front.
15, play on!
Kennedy changed his mind, and in the end it was the wrong option. And Port Adelaide try to go through the corridor. They have to take risks now. But it could mean they're going to continue to get scored against. Dale and English. Liberatore just drew the man, gave it to Johannesson. Too far in to score, goes into the pocket to Norton. That could have been another free kick.
Central umpires called that one, had a bit of vision.
Yeah, it was a late call, wasn't it? But it was the right one. A free kick to Norton. They are in total control at the moment, the Dogs. Total control.
Putting Port Adelaide's defence under all sorts of pressure.
19 inside 50s to 7 for the quarter.
2 goals won already for Norton. Screws it around the body. The North's kick free. He's got the most on the field, and it's a massive turn.
Conversion's been excellent, 15-5 in these conditions. That's been enormous from the Western Bulldogs. And one area that they had struggled in all year had been their snaps, which they've been able to work on and get right today.
Everyone's an option when they go forward. Everybody's an option. They isolate really well. Their movement forward of the ball engages the defence. This is going to be the challenge for sides that come up against the Dogs. When they've got momentum, how quickly can you arrest that back? Because before you know it, the game is over.
There's been a real presence down there today, Darren Norton. Ken Hinkley, all sorts of headaches now. They've just had absolutely no answers since quarter time. There's 2 goals apiece in that first quarter. Since then, the Dogs have kicked 13 goals to 3. Sweet. His handball over the shoulder, won't go anywhere.
Even the clearance numbers this quarter, 15-6 in favour of the Western Bulldogs. Their intercept game has been really strong. They've restricted Port Adelaide to 4 uncontested marks.
Sweet, hacked it out of there. It's a good take from Finlayson. And his shoelaces. Georgiades offers a lead into the pocket. Kick goes in that direction. Well done from Cleary. He got the fist in, running at the flight of the ball. Yeah, every Western Bulldogs player you could look at, John, and say have had some influence in this game. Even those that haven't had big numbers down the bottom, O'Donnell and Karmas have both certainly been really good. McNeil and West have provided some ground level play.
Don't hold that.
And Dale's been one of the best on the ground. It's a genuine floater.
We think about 11 of the bottom 13 rated players on the ground are Port Adelaide's players.
It's way too many, Geordie, when you start to break it down like that.
It's the weight of numbers through the midfield for the Bulldogs. They've overwhelmed Port Adelaide in that facet of the game. They've brought Pau Pepper around the footy. He wins the clearance. Horn Francis charging through. A couple of raging bulls. They combine. The Dogs again with their pressure game, and now the run and spread off the back of it. Look at them go. They're out everywhere. Harms. Corridor.
Yeah, this is what they did to the Giants last week. Their third quarter, their run and carry, running on top of the ground. So it's 14 of the bottom 16 players.
Wow.
Are Port Adelaide players.
Williams. Talks for Port Adelaide, both fly, which means the Dogs have the numbers at ground level. Wines and Fraser. Well done from Wines. Straight line the footy, line up for his team, but they might be coming back. The Dogs set up well. Johannisen has Davidson. If it sits, he's got Richards just ahead of him. He'll try and break the tackle. Instead, he did just enough to get it to Richards, who keeps it low and over the head. And it stays in play momentarily.
Well, we get another look at it. So we've identified this as a strength of the Western Bulldogs today. 5 goals from 450 stoppages. Can they get one more before 3/4 time?
Liberatore and Kennedy are lurking. Sweet wins the hit. There is Liberatore, but Wines was right there. Fraser was so good with his hands. The kick picked off by Arms. Well, he's brought it in with the right hands. It's a tough kick. Yeah, it's probably too far, but as we said, he does like to back himself in.
They are creating pockets on the left-hand side.
There's no one there for Johannisen, who has done this his whole career. That was going to be a big ask from 50. The fly. English again. Oh, what a dominant display from the big man. Johannisen's disappointed he didn't flush it. But Tim English has been everywhere.
Oh, but the Port defence, they were retreating. Bulldogs just held out the left hand and slapped him with the right.
He's happy to give it back to James Harms, so he's within range now.
It's a great mark by English. Back with the flight of the ball swirling in the air. To be able to keep your eyes on the ball and complete it. Now we've seen this kick a few times today. Don't give away the goals.
Let's see if he kicks through it and straight at them. He gets a bit too much that time. He didn't hit it well.
Yeah, helicopter.
That's 7 goals 3 to 2 goals 1 for the quarter. Rosie's been moved into the midfield this quarter to try and get something. It hasn't helped at all. That kick was more in hope than anything. The siren will stand to a standing ovation at Mars Stadium. It was a dominant display by the Western Bulldogs in the third quarter. They put the foot down into the breeze. They kicked 7 goals to 2, and they've set themselves up nicely, led by that man Tim English. They lead by 58 points at three-quarter time.
Now touring at Macca's, the new...
Holy moly, folks out there listening to this game. If you're a Bulldogs fan, you're super, super happy. Wow, 58 points. The Dogs are absolutely tearing Port Adelaide apart. Of course, the Dogs kicking into the breeze in that third term. They put on 7 goals, 3. Port Adelaide with the breeze, 2 goals, 1. What's going on here? Teenane Bim Bim, Shaldy. Jeremy Miklos, g'day from the USA. G'day, sir. G'day from the land down under here in Australia. Welcome in. The great Australian rules football. I hope you get to see a little bit on TV over there in the USA because it is a fantastic game. And of course, we've got a couple more games coming up later, Jeremy. One straight after this. We've got 3 games today. We've got this one. They all run continuously, which is going to be fantastic. Fantastic. Teenage Shouty. What's happening over there? The beautiful land of the Philly. I'll tell you what, folks, wowee. The Bont came to light in that third term there. Shouty DJ Mikey. Shouty. I tell you what, Aaron Norton continues to fire for the Doggies. 14 disposals. He's up to 3 goals. We're looking at the goal scorers so far. We've got a few now for the Dogs. Aaron Norton, 3 goals, 1 off his 9 kicks, doing a fantastic job. Ed Richards with 2. Bo Karmas with 2. Tim English, wow. Tim English chimes in with 2, as does the Bont, the superstar Marcus Bontempelli. Of course, Riley West, Riley Sanders, both singles with Luke Cleary, Joel Frazier. And of course, for Port Adelaide, still Willie Rioli, the best of them with just 2. Jordan Sweet, Sam Powell-Pepper, Georgiades with 1. Tell you what, this is a demolition. Santa All DJ, Sheila May Chia, Shouty. Oh, Santa All DJ. Bailey Dale, tops the table. Bulldogs 26, doing well. 18 kicks, 8 handballs, 4 marks. Ed Richards, having another great game there for the Doggies as well. 22 touches, 13 kicks, 2 goals. Here's what I like to have a look at. Tim English, up to 100 AFL fantasy points, but 20 possessions. I tell you what, his last 2 quarters have been humongous, folks. Humongous, up to 20. Wow, up to 5th on the disposal count out in the ground. 11 kicks, 9 handballs, 4 marks, a tackle, 20 hit-outs, 4 clearances, 2 goals, 1. Tell you what, he's going to get some votes. I think you're going to hear him get some votes. I like the way Adam Treloar's come back after a big rest. He's up to 19. He's having a good impact. One of those link-up players. 10 kicks, 9 handballs, a couple of clearances. Be nice to see him get on the board. And, of course, the Bont there on 16. 11 kicks for 2 goals, 1. There we go. Connor Rose, best for Port Adelaide. 21 touches, 14 and 7. Zach Butters quietened off a little bit there just with the 18 as Jace Burgoyne down to 16. Libba, I tell you what, he's just an in and under player. I like when he gets out and has a bit of a run. He's doing well as well. Aaron Norton, as I said, he's had a good second and third term, 14 touches, 9 kicks, 3 goals, 1. He's doing fantastic. I'll just scroll down these a little bit. DJ might get Butiti already here, Chia. I tell you what, I've been chasing the Butiti, Chia, Atine. They've been swimming away. I just can't catch those Butiti lately. I certainly need to try and catch them again today. Anyway, folks, that's your players' stats at the moment. Let's get back down to the commentators. I tell you what, a 58-point margin, the Bulldogs, they're kicking with the breeze, I think, in this final term. This margin is going to stretch. It's going to be like a piece of chewing gum. It's going to stretch right out as long as it can possibly be. This is a percentage booster for the Bulldogs. Wowee. I did have the live ladder Let me just bring this in just for a moment, folks. This is the live ladder. This is the live ladder. Of course, with the Western Bulldogs winning by such a margin, they will jump up into the 4th position. There we go, in the 4th position on 20 points, 122%. Port Adelaide dropping down to 11th. Oh, they're in strife. Western Bulldogs, you got to like that. That is the live ladder for the Western Bulldogs fans out there. All right, there we go. That's enough of me jibber jabbering. You're catching already 33 Butiti Sana all. That would be nice. That would be nice. All right, let's get back down to the commentators. They'll take us into the bounce of the ball, the final quarter, as the Bulldogs by 58.
Some incident that you've seen?
There was dominant quarter by the Bulldogs and Bailey Dale, but there was an off-the-ball incident in the 3rd quarter with Willie Rioli and Bailey Dale in question. You just see at the top right, just trying to get away and then makes contact with Bailey. So a little bit disappointed with himself, Willie, as he came off the ground, but the MRO will surely have a look at that one.
Okay, thank you, Dicko. We'll keep an eye on that one. And Brad Johnson, it's only going to get more difficult for Port Adelaide when you take a look at the numbers. They are the worst 4th quarter team in the competition this year. They have not won a final quarter. They've been outscored by 90 points.
Well, if they turn it around into the breeze, it's a big effort from Port Adelaide.
It is a rampaging Western Bulldogs who will kick with the breeze in this 4th quarter. And they have not given the Port Adelaide midfield an inch since really that 1st quarter when Zach Butters got off the chain early. And from that point on, they've been all over them. Horn Francis continuing to try hard, the handball though. And as far as Williams, Sanders growing in confidence every week. Johannesen more towards Davidson. He's run up and down this wing all afternoon. Fraser kick around the corner. Uku Kamas, McNeil, he's been very good. That's a great crumbing effort, and the snap didn't finish the work.
Yeah, he deserved that one, Joey. They just keep turning up. Like even that contest on the wing with Davidson, the first play there was Fraser. So just that release handball, supporting your teammates. McNeil will be disappointed he missed that easy one.
Bergman short to Burgoyne. Two of their better players today. There haven't been too many winners for Port Adelaide. Drew, his handball chopped off. Lockie Bramble, and there they are again. There's numbers everywhere. Trelaw starting to rack up some big numbers, and there's Kennedy, another one who's been prolific, now just resting as a forward.
He has been good Adam Trelaw, but he's the one I sort of start to think about in terms of the potential sub in this game now. Bustling has been sitting there, and I know he's a key defender, but you can rotate a few around.
And Matt Kennedy coming up for disposal number 21. Normally pretty good in this facet of the game. He just didn't start it out far enough. See how strong that breeze still is. And it's an even 10-goal margin.
He's played 70%, Trelaw, 70% game time. So he's played 70%, Bontempelli's played 77%. But they do manage their plays throughout the game really well, don't they?
Zach Butters had a blistering opening term. Hasn't quite been as good since then. The kick found its way to his ruckman. Lorenz has shown he can find the footy and use it. Now Horn Francis. And the forwards overrun the footy. Georgiades is in that contest, and Kennedy now working back in deep in defence.
That'll be what you'd like to see from Port Adelaide. Handball receives, break the lines, take some territory, get themselves back in it.
Williams, Kennedy. Still a ball there to be won and not going anywhere. Of course, Port Adelaide, they're going to have to find a way to bounce back next week in a showdown Saturday night. That's going to be massive over there in Adelaide.
Crows playing next against the Blues.
Yeah, straight after this. It'll be an interesting one as well. Fascinating too when you look at the Western Bulldogs draw this year, Jono. This is the second of 5 consecutive games where they play at 5 different venues.
Holding Horn Francis.
There's a free kick going the way of Horn Francis off the ball against Liberatore, it looks like.
Just moving through the contest again.
There's been a bit of talk about the Giants and their venues, but they'll get to the bye, the Western Bulldogs, and they'll have played at 8 different venues in the first 11 games. So they're doing a pretty good job. And then it gets easy from there. They think they play out of their last 11 at Marvel, where they have a really good record. Horn Francis, who almost sums up Port Adelaide's afternoon. That's as poor as you'll see from the young star. 12 of his 18 disposals have been contested. Equal most contested ball on the ground with Ed Richards. That wasn't his best finish. Bontempelli. High kick, again over the head of the key forwards.
It's a great sign though, isn't it, Joe? You speak about the Dogs being on the road. They've had to deal with injury in the early part of this season. And they look to be just building nicely. And Jack Rewalt said they are the side that you can trust now, it seems. And great depth. Kennedy.
Dale just sat off the back of the contest all afternoon. Richards. Kick low and hard. And Bergman again with another intercept mark. It's his 4th for the day. And he'll look to switch the play. Lorenz back to Alier. He just kicked that in hope. Lob again, came off his man. And they outnumber the Western Bulldogs. They've got players everywhere. Johannesson. The kick won't favour calmness. Well read from Alier. You do start to think now, Geordie, how far can these Dogs go this year? When they get the full complement? Now they're starting to get players back from injury. Still got Waitman, who we're not sure whether we'll see him this year. Same with Sam Darcy, but
Liam Jones to come back
if they need him.
Yep.
But all the midfielders are here. And they're all playing together. They are dangerous. And now McNeil will get another chance to kick the goal he's been searching for. Had a couple of cracks at it.
It's a good contest too. Just did enough to create the spoil on Alier, and then worked back to win the ball at ground level. Wins the free kick, you're right. He's been searching for this all afternoon.
Just a long wedge with this one. Let the breeze swing with ease.
50. That's exactly what he does. And he clears the fence. McNeil keeps his streak going of kicking a goal in every game he's played this year. And he brings up the triple figures for the Dogs.
It's nice from Dicko, isn't it? With the breeze, swing with ease. And it's exactly what Lockie McNeil did on that occasion.
I've played golf with Dicko. He doesn't practice what he preaches, I can tell you.
You see there, Alier being sloppy with that tackle. Since quarter time, free kicks 18-6 in favour of the Western Bulldogs. Some may have been a bit iffy, but a lot of them have been there. They've just been first to the ball. They've challenged the Port Adelaide defence. And he takes a well-earned break, Lockie McNeil. Another one of these players that Luke Beveridge just continues to get the best out of. You know, Vandermeer and McNeil. Bramble continues to play well.
Well, it's just role identification. These players know exactly what their role is when they go into the game, so it creates great clarity and it allows you to go and play.
There he's Butters. Tucks it on the arm, goes for a run. He's looking for some forwards to come at him. Instead of might have to be the ground level players. Powell Pepper drew the opponent to get it to Rioli. Liberatore. Fraser's handball deflected. Powell Pepper continuing to attack the footy hard. This will break the run of 3 consecutive wins for Port Adelaide after that. A few good performances. The snap has hit the post from Ollie Lyons. They've beaten Hawthorn, Sydney and North the last 3 weeks. And they've got the showdown, as we said, and then Geelong at Adelaide Oval and Fremantle at Optus Stadium before their bye at Port Adelaide. A tough little 3-week stretch.
Ed Richards might get this here. Just going through the middle of the ground.
Play on.
And then it was Norton, the presenter. Radigalia dropped off. So Radigalia now the spare in defence, so Norton has to try and work around him.
Try and mark that.
Just kick it as high as he can. There is Radigalia. West made a good fist of it.
Jeez, he had a good grab of that too, didn't he? West jumped from a couple deep.
This has been a real challenge for Port Adelaide all day. Defending these D50 stoppages, Camus, Richards, Norton didn't take possession, it was clever. West, another little clever tap. Richards, he couldn't do it again. Norton, this could be some sort of team goal if he can get free. It spills to English, who throws it on the boot. That is a great team goal. They are just toying with the power now. And Tim English with his third is capping off what might be a best on ground performance.
Well, they just refused to be tackled, didn't they? The Port Adelaide Football Club had about 6 or 7 chances to tackle them, and they just kept breaking the tackle, finding their arm, and finding the tackle, finding another free. That is just the ability not to give up in that part of the ground. So that takes them to 7 goals from 450 for the Western Bulldogs. As we said before, Port Adelaide have only given up 5 for the season in that area of the ground.
It's good, isn't it? What a third quarter, Tim English. Had 12 score involvements in the third quarter alone. 12.
And just for the third time in his career, he's kicked 3 goals in a game. And he's never kicked 4. He's up to 21 disposals, 3 goals, 13 score involvements.
Did you get that right? 12 in a quarter.
12 in the quarter.
For what? 12 score involvements?
No, for the game.
Actually, I've just done my numbers again. It was 9.
Yeah, 9 for the quarter.
9 for the quarter.
He's up to 13 for the game now. Norton! There's a lot of big numbers in there, John.
I was adding him up. Bit of work to do.
He's had double the next...
It's a lot anyway.
I should have done
He's
math.
had 6 more than the next best player anyway on the field.
It's been good.
Sweet. Gets an opportunity against Camus. Lorenz has been a shining light. The youngster in his 3rd game for Port Adelaide. Port Francis taken height.
Yeah. Once again, the Bulldogs are just set defensively. You know a side is set when they're all facing the kicker. Haven't been turned around.
No, the defence has looked comfortable most of the afternoon. Long and O'Donnell. Treloar is looking. He always feed back so well. He always have the spare out the back. It was Williams. He was able to give it back to Adam Treloar. All the smalls lurking at ground level. They're queuing up everywhere. Sanders gets it to Davidson. He just didn't get the angles right.
You're right with that, though. They do feed back always to find someone that's facing towards goal to take the ball forward. The shape around the contest, finding options to then go forward is nearly as good as the competition.
Evans will go for Georgiades. Had a good battle against O'Donnell this afternoon. He wants it higher.
Yeah, it's just been a wall there from the Dogs.
They've had the wood on the Dogs the last 4 times. We spoke pre-game around from the prelim final when the Dogs were able to beat Port Adelaide. They haven't been able to get close since then. It's a big turnaround today.
Won 5 of their last 6 against the Port Adelaide, but no answers today. This is a good little passage from the stoppage. Chain of handballs. Wines missed Richards, but he has enough time. Pulls the kick. Again, it bounces in front of Georgiades. Wines again, continues on, and that's a nice kick to the advantage of Ollie Lord, who wore one for his troubles, but he's been paid the mark. Hasn't had much influence today, Ollie Lord, after having a really good game last week against North Melbourne.
Just saw it bustling out getting ready to come on. So the Dogs have made their sub.
So the 23-year-old kicked the 2 goals too and a couple of score assists in that win against North Melbourne. Only 5 disposals and hasn't hit the scoreboard yet today. That's a good effort, but not quite good enough. And Jono, what do you make of the Dogs' next 3 before the bye? They go from Ballarat to Darwin next week to take on the Gold Coast Suns.
That's a big game.
And then they're back at Marvel against Essendon and Geelong at GMHBA before their bye. So that continues the run of 5 different venues in 5 weeks as Bustlinger gets his first touch. Vandermeer, West. Has enough time to get it to his mate McNeil. Right up from Logan Evans, good tackle.
Yeah, he ran well, McNeil. Bustler was on for 3 seconds and already involved in the game.
Well, Gold Coast are confident in Darwin, so that's a massive one for both clubs. Gold Coast to take on the Brisbane Lions first on Sunday night, which is going to be a ripping game. Essendon and Marvel, they'd be going as favourites to that, and Geelong at Geelong is a difficult task as well. So it's a big 3 weeks for the Western Bulldogs in the context of their season and really trying to push for a top 4 spot.
Yeah, then they have the bye. And as I said, after that bye, 8 of their last 12 will be at Marvel Stadium. Well, they have an excellent record. They've won their last 8 there. Bustlinger getting some touches now.
Yeah, he's getting some touches, so it's Sam Davidson's been subbed out of the game.
Okay, so he hasn't chosen to look after one of the veterans. He's gone with the youngster, Sam Davidson, with the 14 disposals and a couple of behinds. We'll sit this one out. George Hades gets the free kick. It's open forward of the ball. Rolling wanted it short. Pepper wants it longer. Horn Francis also works back and he nudged Karmas under the ball beautifully. Strong mark.
Yeah, it was well done by Jason Horn-Francis. He or Pepper with the 2 longer targets, as you said. Did it well enough not to tunnel Buku Karmas. And complete the mark in the end. He's held his position.
It's good craft, isn't it? It's always a tough one. I'm going to put the hands in the back.
Hasn't been his greatest afternoon, Horn Francis, but he certainly hasn't stopped trying. That's been the issue. He's kicking today at 38% from his 13 kicks. And that, at the moment, ties equal lowest score for Port Adelaide against the Western Bulldogs, which was 41 points back in 2019. 70 point is the margin. Greatest winning margin for the Bulldogs against Port Adelaide is 93 points. It's potentially still within reach. That was in 2009. As Vandermeer hobbles to the bench, so Pelly comes back on and we'll spend a bit of time forward.
We got the corky Vandermeer with Radigalia in that marking contest.
Butters and Horn Francis both overrun it. Trelaw would be much better for the run. English just drifted forward. Bontempelli got Harms. That players for handballs inboard. He tries to kick it into the pocket. Won't quite work out. Kennedy and Kennedy's both look back at Harms. Running on top of the ground here, the Western Bulldogs. Vandermeer gets that ankle looked at. So Ballardale's leading the way, 31 disposals, 8 rebound 50s, 5 score involvements. Ed Richards with 26 and 2. Harms around the body. Karmas will sit under it. It won't get it clear the goal line. Bontempelli will strong and kick his third. Disposals, 9 score involvements, 7 tackles and 3 goals for the Bonds. Well, but he's had a lot of mates that have helped him today.
Yeah, 2 disposals in the first quarter, Joey, for the Bond. And then he's been able to work in to 128 ranking points, which is huge. Only had 20 in the first quarter, the Bond in terms of ranking points. So it's a big turnaround from the Bulldog superstar. Ed Richards leads the way with 140. He's been super. Tim English 135, and the Bond, Dale Kennedy all over 100 for the Bulldogs.
Every second touch involved in a score.
It's a luxury to have him spending some time forward. He'll continue. English continuing to just monster the Port Adelaide rucks. It spills forward to the ball. Richards, he's been enormous. Harms ran into trouble. Didn't want to get the hands free. Karmas just took a little bit too long. Rosie had a bit of ball, but hasn't had a lot of influence. He gets it back. Disposal number 27. Misses Ollie Lord, goes out of bounds.
English at the moment is just reminding me of Ilya Grigic in the past of the Whitten Oval, just banging the ball out of the ruck to centre half forward.
Ilya Grigic.
Yes.
He had the gloves. He did. He always had the gloves on. Did you play with him?
Played with Ilya. He went to West Coast and Essendon as well.
Shout out to Ilya. English, beautiful tap down. Kennedy and Bergman has been one of Port Adelaide's best. That's his 5th intercept mark. Disposal number 14.
Stay out, Marcus. Marcus, thank you. Play on. You.
Wide to Richards.
Stand.
Of course, still a massive Saturday of footy to come. Carlton, Adelaide. Collingwood, Geelong later tonight. This one's playing out the last 7 minutes. Some of those Port Adelaide fans in that cheer squad section have already left their seats. They might be in the bar, I think. Has not been their afternoon.
I think Ken might be in the bar too. Big disappointing day for Port Adelaide. The dominance here, obviously, at Marvel Stadium we touched on, but the energy's gone out of this game, so you'd like to see them fight it out, albeit against the scoreboard.
60 inside 50s already for the Western Bulldogs. Sanders clean, just glides by the traffic and has the support of English. Clever little kick, pulls it for McNeil. It has been good.
Tim English is still running. He is just working Port Adelaide over completely. Here's a chance to get this.
Yeah, did go straight through, but he'll get rewarded with a free kick. West thought about taking the advantage.
He's worked that hard to get there. You've got to reward him.
And he'll kick it to the open side for Kennedy. He used the body well. Just didn't put two hands on it. He went for the one-hander and another ball up.
That has been the impressive part to English's game, hasn't it? I mean, we certainly see on screen what he's been able to do, but the work rate to get into those positions has been elite.
Trelaw just sat off the back of the contest, made that 8 450 stoppage goals. And Trelaw has helped himself to a nice afternoon on return.
Another score involvement for Tim English as well. Direct tap out of the ruck. But their positioning around the contest from quarter time has changed dramatically, and it's worked effectively as well, Joey. So good surround the contest.
It's a generous score involvement for Tim English on the replay, but Trelaw with a good finish.
He touched it.
Joey, are you giving that one to him?
He touched it.
He was given the score involvement.
14 score involvements.
So take a look at the live ladder now. We spoke about percentage pre-game, Geordie, John and Bulldogs, and what they've been able to do. So as of post this game, they will be sitting in the top 4. Big percentage booster.
Port Adelaide at 88%. Start of the day, they were 99.8.
St Kilda jump up a spot. Just for watching. As Port Adelaide's percentage has gone below theirs. They still might have a few more in them here. So 93 points is the biggest winning margin between these two teams by the Western Bulldogs. It's at 82. Burgoyne. Kick, Lord. A free kick. Burn Jones wrapped up. Another boundary throw in. It'll just stay in for the time being. There it is, round 12, 2009. Playing that day, Jono, you remember that game? 2009, round 12, when you beat Port by 93 points.
I'll look it up, Kelly. I just thought I would have been out there. Probably kicked 8. Geordie, let's have a guess at Jono's numbers that day. I believe it was in Darwin. Yeah,
I would have played well.
Taking numbers. You wore the double gloves in Darwin, didn't you?
I did wear the one glove in Darwin.
You had no more than 2 tackles.
Just 3 goals that day.
How many tackles? Rosie, so Butters, strong mark. Another one that's tried hard all day, but hasn't had enough mates and support. Long. Great defensive performance, it must be said today.
It has been excellent.
This is an equal record low score for Port Adelaide against the Western Bulldogs at the moment. Could be all sorts of records broken. Norton has looked good this afternoon. Provided a real target. Bontempelli wants it down the line in a one-on-one with Aliir. Liberatore worked hard. If this gets out the back, it did. He wheels. They're running forward. Kennedy is one of them. West another. Rosie has to defend 2 of them. And in the end, Wines is there.
Jono, 18 disposals, 3 goals, 0 tackles.
We won by 95 points.
I knew it'd be 0. I was being generous with 2. And here's Wines. Kicks that one again out wide towards that construction site that we mentioned, the redevelopment that's going on here. They'll have a new grandstand there by the end of 2026. All paid for by the state government. Some state-of-the-art facilities, another set of change rooms, a new umpires room, and then behind it will be the athletics facility. So a bit of work being done in the area, which would be great for the community and great for the Western Bulldogs in the future, because they love playing here. It'll be win number 10 from 14 appearances at Mars Stadium. Kennedy, the break free and get the handball out. Butters, little kick to Powell Pepper. Won't get to celebrate the milestone game 150. That'll go to Jason Johannesson to be able to enjoy with family and friends post this one. Trelaw, disposal number 27. Richards, well, it took a little bit too long to decide what he wanted to do. In the end, he fired away. They're still getting opportunities, aren't they? And I think that's been the disappointing thing. Probably had the way Ken Hinkley has seen this game. They've been totally dominant. They've had no answers. It's another heavy loss.
Play on.
Well, they would have had high hopes coming here and really competing with one of the best sides in the competition. They just haven't been at the level. And Francis with another strong mark. Mason has Lloyd out the back, so they get an opportunity here to take a rare mark inside 50. And Lord sees a better option, unselfishly finds Darcy Byrne-Jones. Well, this will most likely be their first goal for the quarter. They've kicked just 2 goals since half-time. In fact, they've kicked 3 goals since quarter-time for the whole game. They've struggled with the Port Adelaide Football Club. Byrne-Jones has been accurate in front of the sticks all season long. And even he can't get close. Marked it to English, and that will keep Port Adelaide in danger of having an equal record low score ever against the Western Bulldogs. It stands at 41 points. Ed Richards for disposal number 30 to go along with a couple of incredible goals. Norton, another contested mark. The players are working hard out the back. One of them's Kennedy, the other was West, who takes a strong mark. Horn Francis couldn't bring it to ground. And he slowly, gingerly gets to his feet, Riley West. And another one. He's had 8 score involvements from his 13 disposals. And he'll look to kick his second.
Jason,
They look like that every time, don't they, the Bulldogs? If they get that mark at about 70, 80 out from goal and can reel, the representation is forward of the ball.
And the mids and forwards do to continue to run hard forward, don't they, as West puts it through. That takes the margin up to 89 points. If they can kick one more inside the last 90 seconds, it'll be the greatest ever winning margin for the Dogs over Port Adelaide. Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, it's a good indication of how the Dogs have played, but it's also a good indication on the Port Adelaide side not turning up. They haven't been at the level they need to be competitive. That's a terrific mark. He rolled his ankle there in the end, West. He's been another good contributor forward to the ball with his pressure, his tackling, hitting the scoreboard. 130 points for the season. And his record's falling everywhere. This will be, in fact, Port Adelaide's third loss by 80 points or more in their last 11 games. And some issues for Port Adelaide. Fraser and Bontempelli, they wax one last time today. The Bont will drive it to the top of the 50. Norton's in this contest. Radigalia did well. Kick from Logan Evans missed the mark, and Jason Johannesson will certainly remember his milestone game today, the 2016 Norm Smith medalist. He's had the 17 disposals.
He's been an excellent player, debuted in 2012, round 19 against North Melbourne.
And his injury troubles in recent years. One of the veterans now of this side, looking to continue to hold his place in the team as Fraser wins another clearance. McNeil continue to be busy. Norton, West, decided to change his mind to find a free play. Bontempelli might finish with 4. No, he was smothered. Bergman, took too long, he's going to be pinged. Who's going to take it? Claim it, Vandermeer. I reckon Bond will let Vandermeer take it. That's the type of captain he is, I think. Yes, yeah. Vandermeer took the footy very quickly. There's been 11 different goal scorers, sorry, Geordie. Vandermeer's the one that hasn't really cashed in yet. He can make it the 12th different goal scorer. One of the final kicks of the game. It's not going to be a record margin. It's going to finish at an even 90 points. It will be Port Adelaide's equal record low score against the Western Bulldogs. Farrell will step out. We'll wait for the siren. And the Western Bulldogs have absolutely crushed Port Adelaide. They overwhelmed them through the midfield. Everyone had a lick of the ice cream. And the Dogs win their 5th game of the season and march into the top 4 as it stands. They run out winners by 90 points in front of 5,000 fans at Mars Stadium.
Well, quarter time, Jordan, I didn't expect this type of blowout in terms of the scoreboard. It's certainly Port Adelaide leading by 3 points. And then the Bulldogs had to work their way into it with a strong second quarter with the Blues. They used the ball effectively at that point, got some separation in the game, were able to hold that into the Breeze in the 3rd quarter. And then as the game just played out in this final term. But disappointing from a Port Adelaide point of view in terms from quarter time onwards. But the Bulldogs and their weight and numbers through the midfield and the class that was on display today really stood up in a big win for the club.
They manage the game really well. Like, they're big numbers, they can score, their contest shape is really good, but I feel like the players out of the field, and mainly the leaders that really drive this, is they can work their way through games out on the field. This has obviously come from the way that they've been coached, the way that they've been set up, scenario-based. But they work their way through this game really nicely. You're right after the first quarter. That second quarter, 6 goals to 2 to 1 goal to 3. That was a dominant quarter. And they had contributors all over the field as we get down to Ben Dixon.
Tim, what an unbelievable execution. Trying conditions here at Mars Stadium, but that was typical Bulldogs grit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought we had a real priority on defence. I think they've obviously shown that they can come out firing at the start of quarters, start of games even. So that was a big focus for us. They started quite well. We were able to strangle them from there and then play our brand. And I think our brand stacks up against anyone. So we're happy to be able to execute that for 4 quarters today.
It was always Adam Treloar comes into this team. How's he going to fit through this dominant midfield? But it was great to have him back and the functioning through there. You cleared, got the clearance as well, and you pushed forward and got some goals as well.
Yeah, well, I think our midfield is so strong now. We've added Matty Kennedy. We've got players like Joel Frazier, Riley Sanders, even Riley West comes through there. They complement each other really well, and all they're focused on is the team role, and I think that's a really big thing, and that shows when Ads comes in and slots straight in. So we executed really well through that.
And on your execution, the first quarter, you had to kick into the breeze, but it looked like you were adjusting to the conditions a little bit better.
Yeah, well, we're just trying to play our brand of football. Obviously, there's changes in the numbers game going against the breeze and with the breeze, but we tried to play our brand, try and use a little some short hit-ups, and then be able to get it in deeper to our forwards who provided such a good contest today.
Nice to have a win for JJ and his 200th.
Yeah, it is nice. It's always nice to get a win down here as well in front of the fans. I know we couldn't have as many as we would have liked down here today, but yeah, it means a lot for the fans down here. So
great performance to me and by yourself and the Doggies. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim English there, an equal career high 27 disposals, an equal career high 3 goals, and a career high 17 score involvements. He was massive. And Brad Johnson, that man on screen, Luke Beveridge. Well, as the weeks roll on, it feels like he's not going anywhere.
Has to be pretty close, you would think, in terms of what he's doing from a coaching perspective and the way the players are really right behind him at the moment and playing for him as the coach in an old terminology. So it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant so far this season from the Bulldogs with the injuries that they've had, Joel.
Well, they were big winners, 90 points at Mars Stadium, but the footy action continues right after this. We will head to beautiful Adelaide Oval, where Carlton will look to make it 4 on the trot and try and jump inside the top 8 for the time being. But they've got an Adelaide Crows side that love playing at home. They are skillful. It's going to be a great game of footy. That is coming up right after this. But at Mars Stadium, there was the Bulldogs, massive winners.
All right, folks, there we go. Can you believe it? The Bulldogs run away with it. 90-point victors. The Bulldogs again putting on 5 goals, 5 in that final term. Port Adelaide could only manage 3 behinds. Wow, we have a look at that worm, folks. Port Adelaide led the first quarter, but then it was all the Bulldogs. They just took over and dominated. They kicked 18 goals, 10 in the final 3 quarters. Port Adelaide only put on 2 goals, 4 in the final 3 quarters. That's how much of a domination this game was. And the Bulldogs looking good. They certainly do look like they're one of the teams in contention. As I said, they're getting a few players back and they look dangerous. My gosh, tipping Carlton next game. There we go, Eddie G. Yeah, we'll be going to the next game, folks, in around about 4 minutes' time. And that game starts in 5 minutes. I'm tipping Adelaide. You're tipping Carlton. Let's see who does that. I tell you what, we got the tip right today. 81% went for the Western Bulldogs. Let me just wrap up these stats and then we're going to jump across to the next game. The goal scorers in today's game for the Western Bulldogs, Aaron Norton, Tim English, Marcus Bontempelli, all finished with 3 goals. Riley West, Ed Richards, Cummins, all finished with 2 goals for the Western Bulldogs, and singles to Adam Treloar, Sanders, McNeil, and Frazier, Cleary for Port Adelaide. Not many there, were there? Willie Rioli was the only multiple with 2, Jordan Sweet with 1, Sam Powell-Pepper with 1, and George Yardis with 1. The leading disposal getter on the ground for today, only 2 topped the 30. Bailey Dale topped the count with 31, 22 kicks, 9 handballs, 4 marks, 1 tackles. He was the leading disposal getter. Ed Richards next best on 30 for the Doggies with 30, 17 kicks, 13 handballs, 5 marks, 4 tackles, 5 clearances, 2 goals. I want to tell you what, some of the players stood out today for the Doggies. Connor Rose best for Port Adelaide, 29. Adam Treloar, a great comeback game for him with 27 touches, kicking a sausage roll. Tim English, was he best on ground or was the Bond? Oh, Tim English, hard to go past him, I think, for the 3 votes. 27 touches, 15 kicks, 12 handballs, 6 marks, 2 tackles, 30 hitouts, 4 clearances, 3 goals, 1. Surely he's got to get the 3 votes come Brownlow night. Mark that in your book. Mark that in your book. The Bont, of course, he had a lot of help out there today with his 23 touches, 3 goals, 1. Trelaw also very good, instrumental in the way the Bulldogs went about it. Jason Horne-Francis, 22. Ollie Wines, 22. Aaron Norton, he came good after quarter time with 19. 3 goals, 1 for him. Another great effort by him. Sam Powell-Pep always tries his best there for Port Adelaide with 18. 1 goal, 1 with 3 clearances. So he did reasonably well. Just quickly rolling down these stats because we want to get across to the next game. Of course, that's over at Adelaide Oval where Adelaide Crows take on Carlton. That should be an interesting game, folks. All right, let's roll down the team stats. Well, the Bulldogs by 110. Wow-wee, having a third more than Port Adelaide. 60 more kicks, 50 more handballs, inside 50s. The Bulldogs 67, well ahead of their season average. Only 41 inside 50s for Port Adelaide. Efficiency was down for Port today. It was good though for the Doggies. Efficiency inside 50s, well up for the Doggies. A little bit down there for the Power. Free kicks wasn't too bad, 22-15. Still plenty of free kicks, but the umpires didn't go too crazy. Hitouts, Port Adelaide won that by 20, but the clearances, well, the Dogs just dominated. 49-35, plus 9 in centre clearances. Holy moly, Batman. Contested possessions, have a look at the uncontested possessions, 90. The Bulldogs just controlled this game. Plus 30 in the marks, plus 7 in the inside 50 marks, well above their season average. So they were really good in that department. Tackles, Port Adelaide, not too much in that, plus 7 there and plus 5 in the inside 50. It's probably one of the shining lights for Port Adelaide in that way. Let me just see if this ladder has uploaded yet, or I should say reloaded. There we go. There's the live ladder. And of course, that now shows the Western Bulldogs. They've jumped right up into 4th position. They're in the top 4. They've got a bit of healthy percentage there, up to 127, 123 it was when we last looked. They picked up about 4% in that last quarter and a half. Carly, how you doing? Yeah, the Crows and Carlton will be doing that in just a moment. That's going to be an absolute fantastic game, as we will do the Collingwood-Geelong game. Sack Ken, I think this is his last season anyway. I think he'll definitely be out the door after this season. They just look in a little bit of disarray. Sometimes they bring their A game, sometimes they bring their Z game. There's like no in-between for Port Adelaide. It's either good or bad. But Western Bulldogs, I tell you what, if you're a fan, I tell you what, they are looking good. They're looking probably the second most dangerous team in the competition behind Collingwood at the moment. Make no mistake, Western Bulldogs with a healthy squad. They're a team that could just about go all the way. Wouldn't put it past them. Of course, Port Adelaide dropped down to 12th now with that big percentage loss. They dropped right down there to 12th. 4 wins, 4 losses, down to 87.9. Yeah, they're in real trouble. But that was the story of the day. The Western Bulldogs absolutely giving Port Adelaide a shellacking, a spanking, a lesson in how to play football. They were good. They were good. GWS versus Swansea. I'll be doing the games tomorrow if I'm home. Should be fantastic games again tomorrow as well. And of course, Brisbane and the Gold Coast will be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding game tomorrow as well. We've got some great games coming up for you folks, so stay tuned, stick around if you want to listen in to the next game. Adelaide taking on Carlton. That's starting now. All I've got to do is just end this live, start the next one, and we'll be there. I think Carlton might beat the Crows. You never know, you never know. Addy G said tipping Carlton too. For that one, I'm tipping, I'll be definitely tipping Adelaide in their home game there. I think Adelaide have been in some pretty good form. Carlton are a little bit up and down. I know they had a great win last week. I think it was against Geelong. But yeah, for me, I think I'll definitely be tipping Carlton at home. We'll see if the big Tex can get on a few goals, get a rampage going there. So it should be an absolute cracking game. All right, folks, there we go. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Liam, how you going? You're tipping Adelaide as well. I tipped the Crows. Good on you, Carly. Liam, yeah, well, there's a few going for both. This is an undecided game coming up next. It's going to be a great one. You know what? They've just bounced the ball, opening bounce in that game. So I'm going to head off now. I'll say thanks, everyone, for coming into this game. Folks, stay tuned. Head back over to the channel and you'll see me. I will go live with the Carlton Adelaide Crows game in just about 2 minutes time. I just need to load it up and she'll be off and running and we can tune into that game, which is going to be an absolute fantastic, interesting game. Both, as I said, both sides going well. There we go. No score on the board at the moment after 30 seconds of play. So it should be fantastic. All right, folks, let's head on over to the next game now. Just give me 1 minute. I'll set that up and then we'll be live and we can tune in for that way. Text for 3 goals, you reckon, Tiva? I tell you what, could be. Well, Tex just had the ball, fumbled it over the boundary line, down at the forward 50 for the Adelaide Crows. So they're looking like they could possibly... No, Tex has got the free kick. He's going to kick it inside 50. I know it's a different game. Carlton intercept, get it back out. All right, folks. That's it. Thanks all for coming into this one. I need to get over to the next game. So until a couple of minutes' time, ciao for now. We'll see you at the Adelaide Carlton game.